Clare High School and the Ramblers of McBain High School. Will you please stand and sing with the McBain High School Marching Ramblers our national anthem? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light the twilight's last bright stars and and the rockets right bursting in air, through the night,
There's nothing quite like a good high school marching band. In the direction of Heather Wiggins, there is your McBain High School marching band with the national anthem here in McBain. We are going to take a break. This is the Kluger Mechanical pregame show, the opening kickoff coming up from McBain. We'll be back right after this.
Making the final arrangement for a loved one is never easy. At Burkholder Family Funeral Home in McBain, they can help you get through the process one step at a time. Serving the families in McBain and the surrounding communities for over 40 years, they take pride in providing exceptional services that families can actually afford. The caring and compassionate staff at Burkholder Family Funeral Home can help ease the burden. Burkholder Family Funeral Home. Visit them today at 211 North Pine Street in McBain or call 231-825-8191.
With straightforward rewards checking from Forefront Credit Union, you get 4% rewards for doing stuff you do every day, like logging onto your account and receiving e-statements. And you can open your account right online. It's that straightforward. Unlike someone's T-shot, straightforward rewards from Forefront Credit Union. Are you getting 4%? 4.08% annual percentage yield. Rate subject to change. Interest paid on balance up to $15,000. Some requirements apply. Insured by NCUA.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Dr. Steve Preisel. I always want to say Prezel, and I feel bad about that.
You wouldn't be the first or last.
Preisel.
It is Preisel. People are getting used to it.
Preisel. You're a prize. That's what you are.
I don't know. My wife doesn't say that very often.
Ramblers and Clare Pioneers about to get things underway. The Ramblers won the toss, deferred to the second half, and boot to ball. We are underway here in McBain as the kickoff will check up at around the 12-yard line, scooped up by Smedley for the Pioneers, and he is going to get wrapped up right around the 20-yard line. Cole Smedley, the starting running back and a senior. A lot of sophomores and seniors on this Clare Pioneer roster. And Clare will take the ball for their first possession of the game at their own 21-yard line.
I think they're running a pretty spread offense here, like we've seen a lot this year.
Yep, they come out with 4 receivers, 2 split either way. They're in the shotgun. Big quarterback back there, flinging it out to the left. That is caught and tackled right around the first down marker is Drew Schuster. Shane Jenkins, the senior, is a tall drink of water out there, Steve.
Yes, he is. Yeah, that's a big quarterback. They're going to have. He's got a pretty good view when he steps back in that pocket.
Man, I'm thinking a pretty good arm. That was a casual out pass slung to the left sideline, right on the mark. Pioneers getting the signal from the sideline.
You know, you see this more and more with these guys they look over at their coaches till the very last second, and a little different from
how it used to be.
Running plays in and out.
Again, out of the shotgun, he's going to hand it off to Smedley. Smedley trying to come to the near side, and he is going to get strung out and dropped right around the line of scrimmage. No gain. It'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Pioneers. Shane Jenkins is the quarterback for Clare. Cole Smedley, the tailback. Wide receivers include Drew Schuster, Josh Gould, John Bushy. Last name looks like it should be Boucher. I wish it was. And Alex Warner. Quickly back to the line. Again in that 4-receiver look. Jenkins looking to pass. Flings it out left. A lot of cushion and dropped. That was Drew Schuster, who could not reel it in. And will bring up 3rd and 10. A lot of cushion on that far side.
A lot of cushion. And you know what? He's throwing it from this hash over towards us. So that's a long throw. And they're going to have to tighten that up a little bit.
That is Austin Ealing defending on that far side. And right now, Ealing standing, Steve, at around the 43-yard line. Now he's going to move up inside the 40, but
I guess what Coach Maloney's telling him, he's get up there.
Now he's about 5 yards off as they come out again. 4-receiver set. Shotgun formation for Jenkins with Smedley in the backfield. Blitz coming. Jenkins looking to throw, wants to go over the middle and overthrown. Intended receiver was Alex Warner. And he led him a little too far. It's going to bring up 4th and 10, and the Ramblers look like they're going to force a punt.
Yeah, they ran a post there, and Daniel Rodenbaugh was right there, but yeah, a little overthrown there, and didn't get much of a chance to catch that one.
10:41 to go here in the opening quarter. No score. Pioneers with their opening possession going left to right. Now they come out in that 4-receiver spread look. Jenkins might be the punter, and he is. Jenkins will back up quickly to the 20-yard line. He'll bring in his slot receivers for extra protection. Good snap, and Jenkins with a solid punt. Taken out of the air by Gavin Seelan at the 40, 40, 50. Jenkins into Clare territory over the 45-yard line and run out of bounds at about the 43-yard line of the Pioneers, and that's where the Ramblers will take over. A little bit of a dangerous catch, Steve, by Gavin as he took that thing down at his shins or so, but he caught it on the run and had some room.
Good thing he has soft hands, I'll tell you that, because that was not a textbook punt return grab there. But boy, he's a good athlete and picked up an extra 15 there.
So the Ramblers will take over, going right to left across your radio dial. 10.5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Their first possession of the game, and they'll come out in that 4-receiver look of their own. George Brown III in the shotgun. Sends a man in motion. He'll hand it off. This is Seelan, and Seelan with nowhere to go as the Pioneers got good penetration on the left side of that line and cut him off immediately. He's going to lose yardage, and they're going to mark him at about the 47-yard line, make it a loss of 4. 46-yard line, loss of 3. It'll be 2nd and 13.
Coach Maloney's really good about making the adjustments. You know, with that heavy pursuit that they just had by their defensive end and their linebackers, you know, they'll remember that the next time they run that play, and maybe he won't be giving it off, and George will go down the middle.
Rodenbaugh in motion. Caden McGillis is your tailback. Brown will run to the right, wants to throw, and it is batted down. Leaping into the air is Alex Warner, who gets 2 paws on that pass and bats it back behind George Brown III. So the incompletion will bring up 3rd and 13.
13 for McBain.
9:55 remaining here in the opening quarter. No score. Ramblers now 4-receiver look again. They'll send a man in motion. That's Seelan. Brown rolling to his left, cutting back. Will sling it down the middle in traffic, and it's going to get picked off. And that is Jenkins, the quarterback, with the interception. Back at around the 20-yard line, takes it up to about the 26, and the Pioneers get the first turnover of the game and are in business at their own 26.
George, you know, he got in some trouble there. He reversed field a bit. And
First and 10 for the Pioneers.
the only thing I could say is if they punted, I don't know. But that was kind of a Hail Mary there.
It was, and unfortunately, Ethan Barton, his intended target, was too far to recover to come back and try to bat that away. Fumbled snap, and I think the Ramblers may have this.
Big play.
They do.
big
The
play.
snap, Smedley was in motion. I keep wanting to call you Hawkeye. Smedley was in motion, Steve, and he came over at wrong time, and it bounced off his hands and Jenkins' hands, and the Ramblers jump on it.
Well, and there's that defensive spark plug going Bonico. He's right there on top of it, putting pressure on. He jumps on the ball.
So McBain will get it back, and now they'll come out in the full house backfield at the 23-yard line. Handoff. This is Dottie, who hands it off to George Brown III. And George will take it up to about the 18-yard line. Give him 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Now, remember last week, the same thing happened. We threw an INT, came back out, and he fumbled the first play.
Again, quickly, this time to Seelan, Gavin Seelan, leaping over one defender, takes it up to about the 12, and it's going to be a Rambler first down on the 6-yard pickup. Now the Ramblers came out in that spread look. This time they come out with Deacon Dottie under center, and now they're just giving the Pioneers a heavy dose of everybody in tight. 2 tailbacks basically acting as fullbacks, leading the rusher. And that offensive line trying to make something happen. George Brown III over the right side will fall over the 10-yard line, stop just shy of the 5.
You know, you couldn't have 2 more different looking offenses, so the defense to adjust to.
Yep.
I mean, this is pure power right here.
It is unusual to have such a different look. 4 receiver spread formation. Now all of a sudden you take that quarterback and you put him in the backfield with a bunch of other big hogs. This time though, the Pioneers do a nice job of reading the counter, and Gavin Seelan nowhere to go. They're going to keep him at the 8, so it'll be 3rd down now and about 6. McBain can pick up a first down, need to get to about the 2.
On stop number 66, Kyle.
8:18 to go here in the opening quarter. No score. Ramblers, after a fumble recovery following their own interception, now come out in a 4 receiver spread look. George Brown at quarterback. Brown rolling to his right. Throwing into the end zone, too high. Intended, I believe, for Daniel Rodenbaugh. Rodenbaugh can't come up with it. And it'll be 4th down now.
4th down and 5 for McBain.
Just a little out of his reach there.
Pass maybe just a little hot by George.
Well, George's got an arm, too.
He does.
When he gets excited, especially early on, that thing's coming.
He does. Obviously, in the red zone, Ramblers will go for it. 4th and 5 now from the 7. Sends Hart in motion from the left side. Brown rolling to his right. In trouble, coming back to McGillis. Too high and out of his reach. Had Caden McGillis open. Defender came over late. And they used that last week, Steve, with a 2-point conversion for the only conversion they got on their 4 touchdowns.
You can do that.
That comes up short.
And you can do that with George because of his arm. You know, he goes the opposite way, turns around and throws opposite field. A lot of QBs in high school can't make that play, but just a little outstretched.
So with 7:57 remaining here in the opening quarter, the Pioneers will take it back. Handoff to Smedley, and Smedley will take it up to the 10-yard line. Give him a couple. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
It'll be 2nd down and 9.
There was big Caleb Outman in there plugging it up. And here you guys call him the Mountain. He certainly is a big
Mount Outman is what
big boy.
Hawkeye refers to him. Yes.
You can see him coming down the hallway.
Again, 4 receiver set for the Pioneers. Jenkins inside his own 5 will hand it off to Smedley. Smedley up the middle. A little bit of room, and the Ramblers pile him up at the linebacker level. He'll get to about the 12. And it's going to bring up 3rd and about 7 now for Claire as we get inside the 7-minute mark here in the first quarter.
George Brown.
Pioneers looking to the sideline. Again, come out in that 4 receiver set. 2 split either way as they go left to right across your radio dial. Jenkins in the shotgun. Smedley is the tailback. Jenkins wants to throw. Slings it out to the left side. Has a man. That is Warner. Alex Warner. has the first down past the 15-yard line out to about the 19-yard line.
First down, Pioneers.
And the completion gives the Pioneers a first down. So the
On the stop for McBain, number 34, Daniel.
Really a simple play just out in the flat.
well, and it's tough to stop that because Jenkins clearly with the arm and the protection.
Yeah.
You don't want him to get behind you. And Rambler's giving a little cushion right now. Jenkins now under pressure from the blitz, rolling to his left, throws across his body underneath and out of bounds, incomplete.
Incomplete pass.
Good penetration by the Rambler defensive line that time as they chased him out of the pocket. Tough ball to throw for a right-hander running to your left.
It is, and Trevor Boat came in on a corner blitz and really did a nice job of making him readjust.
Again, 4 receiver set. 6:22 remaining here in the first quarter. Jenkins sends a man in motion, fakes the handoff, instead gives it to Warner going the other way, and Warner will be taken down just shy of the 15-yard line.
At the 20-yard line.
Excuse me, the 20-yard line.
Stop number 24, George Brown.
If they give him the 20, it'll be a 1-yard pickup. It's going to bring up 39 now for the Pioneers. I heard the folks in the press box calling that a reverse. It was never handed to anybody else.
No.
My favorite thing when people call things a double reverse. If it changes direction once, it's just a reverse. Trips to the right this time for Jenkins, throwing over the middle, and Gavin Seelan nearly intercepted that. Coming across from the safety position, Seelan roaming free, had it on the shoulder pad.
Playing that center field back there, you almost got that. You got both hands just tipped.
So it's going to bring up 4th and 9 now for the Pioneers. But again, they'll come out in that 4 receiver set with Jenkins at QB. He'll survey. I doubt he's got the green light too often. Now he'll shift back and he'll bring in his slot receivers for protection. Same thing the Ramblers do. Jenkins gets off a beauty. Gavin Seelan's going to let this bounce, and it's going to go out of bounds. Nope, it's going to stay in bounds. And the Pioneers will down it just over the midfield stripe into Rambler territory. We'll call it the Rambler 49-yard line, and that's where McBain will take over. So the Rambler defense, 3 for 3 now, a punt, 2 punts and a fumble recovery. 5.5 minutes to go. They'll see if they can get the offense going.
Yeah, they are.
And really on defense, that Claire is really only getting those passes out there, but that defensive line is really plugging it up.
Ramblers going right to left, come out in that 4 receiver look. George Brown III will hand it off. This is Gavin Seelan out of the backfield. Seelan somehow keeps those legs churning, and he will take it all the way up to the Pioneer 45, give him a 6-yard pickup, and it'll be 2nd and 4. It always worries me when Gavin Seelan keeps those legs churning.
Well, and he reminds me a bit of, remember back in the day, Roger Craig.
Oh, yeah.
Just kept his legs just going, and Gavin is like that. He just keeps...
Kids, Roger Craig was a running back for the San Francisco 49ers back in the 80s in their heyday. Here's Brown rolling out to his left. We got a flag behind the play as Brown, trying to use a block, runs through 2 of his own blockers and is taken out of bounds over the 40-yard line, but we've got a flag back at the right side of the line.
I think
we'll have to see what this is going to be. Claire feels that this is going to go backward. And we've got a chop block on the Ramblers.
Penalty against the Ramblers.
I don't know if this is a spot foul or not. I can't recall. It's usually where Hawkeye would tell me, Steve, this is your job.
Yeah,
You don't know either?
I do not.
They picked up the flag and they're marking it off. It's hard to say if they marked it off from where it's a 15-yard penalty. It's probably from the line of scrimmage. I can't imagine that it would be from in any case, it's going to take them. Yeah, it is from the line of scrimmage. So it'll take them back to their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, in terms of rules, I'm more of your basketball guy.
Well,
I know football, but I know rules a lot better on the court, on the hardwood.
Same here. Looking forward to that season. Not in a hurry for the Ramblers football season to end, though, just to be clear. 4:50 remaining here in the opening quarter. Ramblers now facing a 2nd and 19 from their own 40-yard line as they come out with trips to the left for Brown. He'll send Seelan in motion to the near side. Wants to set up a screen. Now he'll throw it. Rodenbaugh, we got a flag on this side. Thrown really not anywhere near a Rambler. It was thrown by the line judge. Now we got another flag on the far side being thrown by the headlinesman.
Tell you what, George had two guys.
Yeah, he had Hart as well. He tried to hit Rodenbaugh.
Yeah.
Might have even been trying to hit Hart, and Rodenbaugh nearly intercepted it. So we got one flag thrown by the linesman on the near side. Headlinesman threw a late flag on the far side. The referee is talking to the Pioneer players. Ramblers are moving back. So this would imply that this is going to go against McBain. Kevin Taylor, your referee tonight. Illegal man downfield is going to be declined. So the Pioneers will take the down, and it'll make it 3rd and 19 now for McBain. They'll take the incompletion. 3rd and 19 from the 40, 4:38 remaining here in the opening quarter.
And that's the right thing to do. I mean, you get 3rd and 19, take that down away.
I don't know if that's a 5 or 10-yard penalty. I'm assuming it's a 5. So Brown in the shotgun, sends Rodenbaugh in motion, fakes the pitch, now rolling to his right, under pressure, throwing it underneath, through the hands of one intended receiver, caught by Rodenbaugh. Rodenbaugh still on his feet. Rodenbaugh to the near side, and now tripped up. Nice open field tackle by Drew Schuster. Might have saved a first down because Rodenbaugh had room to the near side with a blocker or two, but Schuster snagged him by the ankles, and it's going to set up 4th and about 12 now for the Ramblers from their own 47-yard line. Well, that ball went through somebody's hands.
It did.
And then into Rodenbaugh's.
And Daniel takes it, and he goes. He gets ahead of steam.
Brown will back up, and a little bit of a semi-shank punt is going to take a Pioneer bounce toward the sideline, and the Ramblers will down it at the 33 of the Pioneers, and that's where Claire will take over with 3:51 remaining here in the opening quarter. 7th possession of this first quarter, Steve.
Back and forth, and you know, like I said before, last week's game, ironically, happened the same way, where we threw an INT, and then Beal City turned right around and fumbled it. So I hope we have the same ending as that game.
4-receiver look for the Pioneers. Smedley takes the handoff from Jenkins, and the Rambler offensive line all over that one. Just by sheer offensive line push, they will pick up a couple of yards just over the 35, give them the 30. Yeah, we'll call it the 36. Call it a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 now. Jenkins will keep it himself, and not much room there. Jenkins will get piled up behind the line of scrimmage, trying to pick his way. I wondered, as we mentioned, he's a tall drink of water. He's not thin. He's a solid-looking kid from up here. I wondered if he was any kind of a runner. That's the first running attempt we've seen from Jenkins, and there wasn't much there for him. Actually, a loss of a yard. They quickly come to the line again. 3rd and 7 now. 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter, as they look to the sideline for the play. Now back. Jenkins wants to throw. Plenty of time. Fires over the middle, and incomplete. That was off the hand of Alex Warner. Same play they had tried earlier. Rodenbaugh again on his hip. Steve, this time Warner able to get a hand on it, but couldn't reel it in.
They are looking at that post. And that middle is open, but yeah, with Rodenbaugh that time, and then Seelan playing his center field, you know, the Ramblers might have a good opportunity for interception if they keep trying to throw that play.
4th down and 8 now for the Pioneers. And as mentioned, Jenkins, the quarterback, will come out in that 4-receiver spread like the Ramblers do, and then he'll back up, wave his slot receivers in for the extra protection. Always got to be careful. And this one is a beauty.
Big punt.
Yeah, fair catch called for by Seeland, and he'll take it at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Ramblers will take over with 2:42 remaining here in the opening quarter. 8th possession.
Well, the punters are they're staying warm.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Well, they're the quarterbacks, so they are warm anyway, right?
Yeah.
Both teams, quarterbacks and punters, getting a lot more action with their legs than they probably would like. So McBain now, Steve, will come out with that full house backfield. Worked for him for a little while. Deacon Dottie under center. Dottie will hand it off to Seeland, and Seeland's going to get stacked up and dropped.
Number 3, Kevin Sealer, the ball carrier.
Got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
On the stop, number
Deacon does a really nice job of being ready. You know, you're out for 5 or 6 plays, and then you're in. Then you're calling plays, and he does a nice job with the exchange in the center and getting the ball off to the guys. That's not as easy as people think.
No, it's a great observation. You know who's never made that observation? Hawkeye.
Well, you know, he's
never
sit down with me
that.
a few times. I give him some tips.
Handoff is to Daniel Rodenbaugh. Rodenbaugh will take it up to about the 32, and it's going to bring up third and about 8 now for the Ramblers as we get inside the 2-minute mark here in the first quarter. As Dottie comes to the sideline, and we're going to see that 4-receiver look for McBain. Want to remind you, if you're leaving our listening area, head on over to 107.9Wcdy.com. Click the game logo. You can listen to us via YouTube. Anywhere in the world where you can get a solid internet connection. Our thanks to McLean Transmissions for their support of live streaming of Rambler football. Brown takes the snap, and will barrel straight ahead.
Number 24.
Takes it up to about the 38-yard line. He's going to be a couple yards shy of the first down, and it's going to bring up an interesting decision. 4th and 2 now at the 40. Probably punting area here, I would assume, but
And for those,
wonder with this spread if they don't think Brown can get 2 on his own.
And it's interesting with the punting out of the shotgun formation. Well, here he steps back, so.
Yeah, but he could also fake this. Instead, he's going to boom one, as he's got the Pioneers not back and ready.
Great
This is going to take a Rambler bounce inside the 15-yard line and be down at the 13. So a great punt
13-yard line of Claire.
by George Brown III will pin the Pioneers back at their own 13 with 50 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. And so we're going to start our 9th possession. I only have 10 lines per quarter.
Well, I have a lot of marks here that are saying McBain punt, McClare punt, so I don't have a lot of notes going right now. I don't recall a game even or a quarter like this all year.
Should note, very little wind out there, so direction tonight largely irrelevant. Pioneers going left to right now as they come out with those 4-receiver look. They've kept one man in a little further. Jenkins is going to take this out to the left side, and a nice tackle out there. Trevor Bode out on the corner, got blocked, and still fought through it to make the tackle.
About 5 on the play.
Jenkins, though, just by virtue of his height, falls forward for about a 5-yard gain to the 18-yard line. 2nd and 5 now for Claire. And now Jenkins under center. Man in motion. Jenkins will hand it off to Smedley, and the Ramblers from the edge. Catch the number, Steve, if you did, but is that Owen Bonico?
I think it's Owen, yeah. Owen Bonico.
Bonico coming in from the edge does a nice job of grabbing Smedley, slowing him down. Couple yard gain to the 20. It'll bring up 3rd and 3.
You see Owen, doing that, but then you see Trevor Bode on the other side doing it as well.
Pioneers get the play off and picked off. Intercepted by Ethan Barton. Barton to the house. Touchdown, Ramblers. Sorry, that's Caden McGillis.
Yes.
I am sorry. Caden McGillis with the interception. I saw the 2. I saw the height. My sincere apologies, Caden. What an interception as he steps in front of that out pattern. And Steve, you kind of called it. You see the same thing multiple times.
Back in the day, I played safety, so I could see what these guys are seeing up here. And boy, did he break on that. That time they tried the little sideline action, and he broke on that ball. Boy, Caden, that's a heck of a play.
That was a heck of a play. And thankfully, the play didn't get waved off because of when it started. The extra point from Sebastian Matson is partially blocked. And so the Ramblers, after the failed extra point, draw first blood. The end of the first quarter, they've got a 6-0 lead over the Clare Pioneers. We'll take a break. Second quarter action coming up right after this.
Providing great service and quality to our customers, LC Materials is here for you and all your concrete and aggregate needs, both residential and commercial projects. We can assist you in estimates, sand and gravel needs, project details, and on-time delivery. LC Materials is also in Cadillac at the Concrete Store. The Concrete Store has building supplies, stone, block, tools, and other accessories to help you finish your project. So when you're ready, call LC Materials. We're ready when you are, online at lcmaterials.net.
When it's late, when it's snowing, when you just have to have it. It's nice knowing McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain is open 7 days a week. Locally owned and operated with the friendliest cashiers helping to serve your grocery needs. From candy and chips to pop and munchies, McNally's Party Store, they're still keeping it cold. And wishing the McBain Ramblers good luck in tonight's game. That's McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain, open 7 days a week.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Dr. Steve Preisel. Yes, I said it right. So thrilled with myself. Second quarter about to get underway. The Ramblers have a 6-0 lead thanks to a Caden McGillis interception and return. The pick six gives the Ramblers the 6-0 lead as they kick off. Taken deep by Smedley. Inside his 20, and there's a flag behind the play. Smedley is gone, though. Up the right sideline, 30, 20, 10, and Ramblers into the touchdown Pioneers, but the flag behind the play, we have to see what this is, and the linesman coming back. So the Ramblers are going to get bailed out. Boy, because Smedley, wow, untouched up that right side. Great blocking by Claire, but it's all for naught because a hold back at the 30-yard line is going to bring it back.
Colt Smedley.
There's a reason, Steve, that Pat Maloney never kicks off deep. I don't know what he's been doing lately or why he's been allowing it, but he's been burned for opening game touchdowns twice in his career here at McBain, and that's why he chips it and worm burns it and whatever, because he hates that more than anything. I am stunned that he was kicking that ball deep.
Thankful for the flag, I know that.
It ain't happening again, I guarantee you that. The next kickoff you see will worm burn to about the 35-yard line. Guaranteed. So the Pioneers, after the penalty flag, will start this possession at their own 20-yard line as they come out again in that 4-receiver looks. Jenkins is going to keep it himself on an option play, and he'll pitch it out. That was Bushy on the outside. John Bushy, the junior, will take it up to about the 24. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Austin Ealing came up from his corner position. It's really the first time I think we've seen the option ran by them that way.
Yep, I would agree with that. Using Smedley as kind of the fullback in that situation, and the slot receiver Bushy as the tailback. Something the Ramblers kind of do, but never seem to really try it as an option play. This time they'll send Bushy in motion, hand it off to Smedley, straight up the middle. Smedley runs into a wall of green and is dropped just over the 25-yard line. I'm going to give him the 25, and it'll be 3rd and about 5 now for Claire as we get inside 11 minutes to go. Here in the second quarter, 6-0. Ramblers with the early lead. Wait, was that a 25-yard interception return for Caden? I got to pick a number.
Well, I'll tell you what, I thought it was more like 35 or 40.
Oh, is it that far back? Jenkins passing, has a man open over the middle of the field and brought down. That is Jacob Rucker, a sophomore, and he's a big kid. Makes the catch, and he's got a first down for the Pioneers out to the 33-yard line.
Claire's trying to get it on the sides and the flats in the middle, because I'll tell you what, if you're a running back trying to get up the gut tonight, you're not getting very far.
They're in business at the 33-yard line.
3 receivers to the right for Jenkins. Now he'll roll to his right. Trevor Bode chasing him down, fires underneath, has a man open. And Gold with the catch, lowers the shoulder, knocks a couple of Ramblers to the turf, takes it down to the 46-yard line. It's a Pioneer first down, 13-yard pickup.
Ball spotted outside the 45-yard line.
The quarterback does a nice, he's big and he moves pretty well, but the other thing he does too is he gets the ball out of his hand. When the guys do get through and rush, there's just not a lot of opportunity. It doesn't give them a chance to get a hand on them.
Back of the ball marked at just over the 45. We'll call it the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. They send 3 receivers to the right. Smedley is your lone tailback. He'll take the handoff. Smedley with room to run. Breaking free to the right side. Nice open field tackle made by, I believe that is Ealing. It is Austin Ealing with the tackle. Otherwise, Smedley had another streak up the right sideline ahead of him. Takes it into McBain territory at about the 48-yard line.
They're trying to hurry up.
Quickly to the line come the Pioneers. They'll give it to Smedley again. Smedley makes a man miss. He's got a 1st down and more. Tripped up at around the 40-yard line of McBain. He's a shifty runner. We hadn't really, until now, gotten a chance to see him in open space. And boy, he's terrifying. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, you ran that kickoff back, and now they've, Jay, they found something they like here. They run that off tackle run there, and boy, when he is quick.
It's almost like it just sort of freed him up. Trips to the right. Fake. Jenkins, a little wobbly pass. Caught and then fumbled. Are they going to call this a catch or not? So Ramblers are trying to say that it was an incomplete pass. The thing is it had to be the official on the far side who would have saw it.
No, they called it complete.
Yeah, they're calling it complete to Schuster. Schuster recovered it. Pioneers quickly come to the line. Hand it off to Smedley. Smedley picking his way around the right edge again. Has another big gain and a 1st down. And they will quickly move the chains.
Real close to the 20-yard line. 1st down for the Pioneers.
Claire's really found some.
Claire is coming to the line
right
quick.
now.
They are, and they're coming to the line quickly. And now we're going to get a timeout. McBain. I was just thinking to myself,
Yeah,
this is probably where Maloney would make a timeout call, and he does. 8:41 remaining here in the 1st half. Ramblers have a 6-0 lead, but the Pioneers are driving. Started on their own 20-yard line. They've gone 60 yards, and they have a 1st and 10 at the Rambler 20. We'll take a quick break. Be back in 30 seconds right after this.
We've all been there. We rely on our vehicles more than ever to get us where we need to go, safe and sound. McBain Auto Service is open Monday through Friday and are fully licensed and insured to serve you. With over 50 years combined experience, they specialize in everything from brakes to engine repair with no job too big or small. Stop in for a safety inspection. McBain Auto Service, located at 9438 South Maury Road in McBain, or call 231-825-2729.
8:41 remaining in this one in the 1st half. 6-0. The Ramblers have the lead over the Clare Pioneers. Jay Simon alongside Dr. Steve Preisel. Abby Danforth turning the dots back from the studio for us. McBain got on the board first. A Caden McGillis 30-yard or so touchdown off an interception. But the Pioneers now a 60-yard, 8-play drive has got them at the Rambler 20 with a 1st and 10. And the Ramblers taking a timeout to try and collect themselves. Pioneers come out with trips to the right. Jenkins is going to pull this down and run it right away, and he is brought down after about a 2-yard pickup. Give him the 18. It'll be 2nd and 8 now for Clare. That was almost looked like a busted play, Steve. It didn't quite look like that's what they intended out of that.
No, I think he just took it and was trying to fall forward and not lose any ground.
Trips to the right again for Jenkins. This time he'll give it to Smedley. Smedley bouncing it out to the right side. Ramblers trying to string it out. Smedley makes a man miss, cuts back to the inside, is over the 15, and down to about the 13-yard line. 5-yard pickup will make it 3rd and about 3 now for the Pioneers as we hit the 8-minute mark here in the 2nd quarter. Again, trips to the right. Schuster, your lone receiver near side. Jenkins will flip it out to Smedley. Smedley trying to string it out. Caden McGillis steps up and with a little help from his friends buries him back behind the 15-yard line. Caden McGillis shedding the block and stepping up and making a great tackle on Colt Smedley.
He's doing the job against the pass. Boy, that time he really came up. This big 4th down play here.
Loss of a yard. It'll be 4th down now and about 4 for the Pioneers as they get the call from the sideline. They come out with 2 receivers either way. Smedley in the backfield with Jenkins at QB. Jenkins in the shotgun, wants to throw, rolling to his right, has protection.
Go get him.
And has the man right by the chains. George Brown III, I think, wanted to get a holding call because Smedley just took him to the ground. Kind of looked like my nephew in jiu-jitsu, where you grab the front of the guy and you just bring him right down into the guard position.
They didn't see it, apparently.
Now that or it wasn't really what I just described. It could have been a little bit different. But Brown came right up through him, looked like he was going to run right over him, and then collapsed on top of him as he put pressure on Jenkins.
It looks like they have it, but they're measuring it.
He made the catch well beyond the line, the marker, and came back. But I thought he easily had it.
I did too.
And they're going to mark him at the 10. So the 4-yard pickup, great throw, really. Got to give Shane Jenkins, the QB for the Pioneers, a lot of credit for making that throw on the run at the sideline as he hit his receiver, Dawson John, in stride, the sophomore. So 1st and goal now for the Pioneers. They send a man in motion. Jenkins in the shotgun. He's going to give it. Nope, keep it. Faked it on Smedley, and now a great tackle made by Ising on the outside.
Great tackle by Ealing. I tell you, that was Austin, wasn't it?
I said Ising, didn't I? Ealing, yes.
Ealing.
It was him.
He fell down, and then he got back up, and then he tackled him.
2nd and goal now from the 8 for the Pioneers. They look to the sideline for the call. 6:45 and ticking to go here in the opening quarter. Steve, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't read these names. It's because I don't have my glasses on, that's why.
If I don't have my glasses, I would be of no help to you.
Between the beard and these glasses, my wife says I look like about 85. Jenkins wanted to give it to Smedley, kept it himself, and the Ramblers do a great job of getting inside as Brant Bonico, the lone sophomore on the Rambler roster, brings him down back at the 10-yard line. So a loss of a couple. And it'll be 3rd and goal now from the 10. 15th play of this drive coming up, Steve.
Brant's built just like his brothers, that's for sure. And, boy, that time he got low and took him down. Tell you what, if we can get out of this, this would be huge because Claire's really moving the ball.
4 receivers set, 2 either way for Jenkins. Out of the shotgun. Thinking about throwing underneath. Now fire into the end zone. Caught. And it's a touchdown for the Pioneers.
Touchdown, Pioneers.
Believe that was Josh Gould on the catch.
That's a solid drive.
That was a 80-yard, 15-play drive that ends up in a 10-yard touchdown catch by Josh Gould. And now Alec Hoffman will go for the extra point and drills it.
Extra point is good.
Hoffman with the extra point with 5:41 to go here in the first half. The Pioneers have got a 7-6 lead. We'll take a break and be back right after this.
McBain Rural Agricultural Schools is looking for the next generation of Ramblers. If you want to give your child the gift of a great education, make McBain Rural Agricultural Schools your school of choice. Every McBain Rambler gets a MacBook or iPad, a strong curriculum, including a variety of vocational programs, great athletics, and access to a brand new state-of-the-art performing arts center. Because great performances shouldn't be limited to the football field and basketball court. School of Choice is now open, which means a huge decision for your family is upon you. If you want a school that will challenge your child, support your child, and celebrate your child's individuality, make sure McBain is on your short list. It's never too late to change schools, and McBain is accepting students K through 12th grade. For more information, visit mcbain.org or call the superintendent's office at 231-825-2165. That's 231-825-2165. 231-825-2165.
5:41 remaining in the first half here at McBain High School. 7-6, the Clare Pioneers put together an 80-yard drive that ends in a 10-yard touchdown pitch and catch. Extra point gives them the single-point margin over the McBain Ramblers. Jay Salmon alongside Dr. Steve Preisel. Abby Danforth turning the dials for us back in the studio as the Pioneers kick off. Scooped up by Hart. It was a low drilled ball. Hart and another teammate trying to figure out who was going to pick that up. Hart does and takes it out to about the 2-yard line, and that's where the Ramblers will take over with 5:35 remaining here in the second quarter. We had technically 10 possessions, if you count the McBain interception return for a touchdown at the buzzer in the first quarter, Steve. Just our second possession as the Pioneers, with that 80-yard drive, killed almost 6 minutes worth of clock. Brown back to throw, has a man, caught at the 40-yard line, and then taken down right away. That was Daniel Rodenbaugh.
Yeah, that did. That we talk about a difference in the two quarters. Now we'll see if McBain can respond here, but
nobody had put together a drive over 6 plays in that first quarter. Second and a long 2 now for the Ramblers. Brown wants to throw. Pump fake. Now he'll launch one deep. He's got Seelan behind the defense. And there's a flag. That's a great call.
Yeah.
Gavin Seelan, the ball slightly underthrown. He had his man beaten by about 4 strides, Steve. He had him burned, but George couldn't get a lot on that ball as he was under pressure. But the underthrow, the Ramblers are going to pick up. That was Alex Warner defending. The Pioneers making the argument that he was simply had his hands up and was defending, but I mean, in my estimation, Steve, he batted at Seeland. I mean,
that's pass interference. I know that rule. and if Claire hadn't gotten the pressure on George kind of threw off his back foot. He's got the arm to hit Seeland in stride. So
it's really not a bad penalty because instead of a touchdown, it's Ramblers' ball at the 45 of the Pioneers. I mean, it could have been far worse. If he steps into that, that would be the end zone. So with 5:03 to go, now they've got a first down at the Clare 45. Brown wants to throw again. Under pressure again, slinging one. Seelan behind the defense, caught. Touchdown, Ramblers. Well, they liked whatever it was they saw on the previous play because they said, all right, Gavin, it's like playground football, Steve. Did you ever do this?
Yeah.
You take out your hand and you go, all right, you just run this way.
I think I saw Maloney over there in the dirt because they just let Seelan go. And that time George was getting pressured again, but he's got a strong arm.
Oh, man, he got into that one. 45 yards. For the touchdown, and so the Ramblers will go for 2 with a 12-7 lead. Brown with trips to his right, rolls right. Now he'll fling it into the end zone, caught by Rodenbaugh. 2-point conversion is good. And with 4:54 remaining here in the first half, the Ramblers answer the Pioneer drive with a touchdown of their own. 45 yards to Gavin Seelan. Rodenbaugh, the 2-point conversion. It's a 14-7 Rambler lead.
Nice play design. You've got Rodenbaugh coming out of the backfield, hitting the flat again. Nice call by Coach Maloney. Yeah, what a response. Because, again, I don't mean to, just harp on that drive by Claire, but to sit in there and just eat that time up. And they were pretty methodical of just going at our defense that had been pretty stout. Here we come back.
Well, and I always like to preface these types of statements with the obvious. I don't know much about football. That being said, when Gavin Seelan has your kid burned by 4 steps on one play and you have to commit interference to avoid the touchdown, how does he get 4 steps on the next play?
Yeah, absolutely.
You would think that maybe you double him or you got somebody a little deeper, but that's why I'm up here with a microphone instead of on the sidelines with a clipboard.
Well, and the coaches, I'm sure are going to make the point real clear to find number 3.
Yes.
And don't let him get behind
yes,
you.
I am sure that will likely be the case. It's easy to talk up here.
You know what? I spent 15 years in the sideline coaching basketball, and so I know it's a lot easier up here, but I know about the criticism too.
Hey, look, Steve.
What do you know?
They just pooch kicked it short over the 35 and then tripped up. Trevor Bode will knock him down as the Pioneers taken out by John Bushy. They'll take over at their own 38-yard line. That was the easiest call I could have made all year long.
Coach Maloney said, no. We don't need to see, who was that, Smedley, going 80 yards on us.
There was negative chance that ball was going to be kicked beyond the 30-yard line. So the Pioneers will take over. 4:50 remaining here in the first half as they come out with 4 receivers, 2 split either way for Shane Jenkins, the senior quarterback. He's got Smedley in the backfield. Rolling to his right, wants to throw. He'll fling it out. He's got a man wide open. And Austin Ealing will chase him down and bring him down, but not before he gets into Rambler territory at the 21-yard line. So talk about a player getting behind him. Josh Gould, who caught the touchdown for the Pioneers, getting 20 yards behind the closest defender. Jenkins finds him in stride, and they got a first down at the Rambler 21.
And the Ramblers better get on defense here. Claire comes right up.
And the Ramblers are going to call timeout. 4:37 remaining here in the first half. Suddenly back and forth we go. 14-7. McBain with the lead. We will keep it right here. Again, want to remind you, if you're leaving our listening area, head over to 107.9Wcdy.com. Click the game logo. You can listen to us anywhere in the world. We've got a solid internet connection. We've had listeners overseas, families that live out of the state, out of the area, the opportunity to listen in. We appreciate it tremendously. McBain Rambler football live streaming brought to you by McLean Transmissions. For anything transmission related and for quality used cars, head on over to McLean Transmissions on LaChance Road between Cadillac and Lake City. Call 779-1394. That's 779-1394. Want to thank Shepherd's Insurance Agency, Northern Truck Service, Pluger Mechanical, and Advanced Optometry for their support of tonight's broadcast. Jay Simon alongside Dr. Steve Preisel. Abby Danforth turning the dials for us back in the studio. Out of the timeout. Second for the Ramblers. They've got one remaining. Pioneers have a 1st and 10 at the Rambler 21. Shane Jenkins, the senior quarterback, in the shotgun. He's got Smedley in the backfield. Smedley picked up a chunk of the 80 yards on the prior drive. This time Jenkins wants to throw, has a man underneath. And Gould again with the catch right around the first down marker. And
bounds at about the 12-yard line.
Gould, boy, he looked like he was hurt for a moment there. He's kind of writhing on the ground, and now he bounces up. It's good to see.
17, Trevor Bode.
Ball marked at about the 12-yard line. 2nd and short now for the Pioneers. Handoff, Smedley, straight up the middle. He's got the first down. Brought down over the 10, give him the 9, but it's going to be 1st and goal for the Pioneers. 4.5 minutes remaining here in the first half, and they are not wasting any time. Quickly to the line.
They're speeding the tempo up big time.
Hand off to Smedley, and Smedley's going to get buried at the line of scrimmage.
Smedley, the ball carrier.
Ramblers had the right people in the right spot on that one.
Looks like the ball's going to be spotted out.
Jenkins, one of those QBs. He just, I don't think we want to see him get into a rhythm.
No.
You know, he's a good, I don't know what kind of stats he's got over the year, but he's a real versatile QB.
2nd and goal for the Pioneers. Again, 4 receivers set. Smedley is the lone tailback in the shotgun. Jenkins to throw, looking left, firing underneath, has a man inside the 5, and then knocked over and finished off. That was Trevor Bode, I believe. Caden McGillis with the initial hit. Bode finishing him off on the outside. It'll be 3rd and goal from about the 2-yard line now for Claire. Again, quickly to the line, wasting no time. Jenkins is going to keep it himself, straight up the middle. And Jenkins is into the end zone. Touchdown, Claire.
Run in by the quarterback, number 2, Shane Jenkins.
Boy, after that first quarter, it's like Caden McGillis's pick 6 has opened the floodgates.
Yeah, I mean, Ramblers really responded last time around, but this, another impressive drive by Claire.
Extra point attempt coming up from Alec Hoffman. High snap, caught, put down nicely. Kick is no good to the right. So
with 3 minutes, 30 seconds left.
With 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half, the Ramblers hang on to the lead, 14-13. 3:30 to go in the first half. We'll take a break and be back right after this.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store, located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Dr. Steve Preisel. Abby Danforth turning the dials for us back in the studio. The McBain Ramblers have a 14-13 lead over the Clare Pioneers. 30 remaining here in the first half. It was a back and forth affair in that first quarter. 9 possessions of punt, interception, fumble, downs, punt, 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 punt. And then Caden McGillis on the last snap of the first quarter picked off a Shane Jenkins pass and ran it into the end zone to give the Ramblers the lead. Since then, it's been touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. And we've got a 14-13 game here late in the first half.
Yeah, the tale of the 2 quarters are certainly different.
Huffman will kick off. And he will blast this up the left side. McGillis will scoop it up. And McGillis holding that ball out dangerously, still backing up. Now he's going to pitch it. And they're going to say he was in the grass or in either down.
At the 12-yard line.
I am not sure. It's been a long time, Steve, since I was a teenage boy. It makes you wonder what goes through their head in certain situations.
That was backyard football.
Yeah, we thought the Gavin Seelan, just run as far as you can and I'll heave it to you was backyard football. That was Caden McGillis, who is a tremendous athlete.
Yes, he is.
Having an awful lot of faith in his athleticism. Wowzers. So the Ramblers will thankfully take over at their own 15-yard line after all that. And out of the full house backfield, they give it to Gavin Seelan, who runs over several white jerseys outside the 20. And has himself up to about the 22. 7-yard pickup will make it about 3rd and 3. Running hard was young Mr. Seelan. So after marching down the field in that spread look, the Ramblers come out with Deacon Dottie under center in the full house backfield. Zigging when the Pioneers think they're going to zag. Handoff is to George Brown III, and George has a first down over the 25-yard line to the 26.
We were talking about basketball before. Some of the strategy for some coaches, they switch defenses. They go zone, they go man, they press. Well, the Ramblers do it on offense here.
I wonder too, Steve, if this isn't maybe a little bit of defense with offense. Keep the Pioneers from getting this ball back. Yeah. Keep it on the ground, run a little clock. Make sure that if you score, great. If you don't, Claire doesn't have time.
And I think that I'm assuming that's why we're doing this, and that's great coaching because Claire is those last 2 drives are pretty strong.
Seelan is your slot receiver, and he is being checked very closely. Actually, blitz coming on Brown. Brown will sling it out, caught by Rodenbaugh. And Rodenbaugh tackled just shy of the 40-yard line by Shane Jenkins, the QB turned safety. And it is a Rambler first down at about the 38-yard line, 12-yard pickup. 2:15 and ticking to go for the Ramblers. Pioneers brought the blitz. The Rambler offensive line did a nice job of giving George time to throw. They come out again, 4 receivers. They send Rodenbaugh in motion as they go left to right. Brown rolling to his right, wants to throw back across his body over the middle for Hart among traffic. Caught, are you kidding me?
Great catch.
What a catch by Josh Hart Jr. Dang, at the 25, call it the 26-yard line of the Pioneers between 2 white jerseys, and Hart comes up with it. What a catch.
And George Brown says, here's your chance, buddy, and he just went up and got it.
Inside a minute 50 to go as the Ramblers come to the line. Again, 4 receiver look for McBain. Caden McGillis is in the backfield. Seelan in motion, and the Ramblers are going to move, and it's going to cost them 5. Little miscommunication. The Ramblers need to take a breath. That is a heck of a catch.
Right in between the 2 defenders, too.
Oh, and
he won that ball.
That was dead center between them. Give George Brown III a lot of credit. That ball was on the money. Hart largely in stride. He turned back to kind of shield himself, but what a catch. Now they'll send Barton in motion. Brown looking to throw. Looking for Seelan again, and incomplete off Seelan's hands. A little bit underthrown. And Gavin Seelan would have been in the end zone had he brought that in.
I think Gavin's got their attention, though. That time they had 2 guys on him. He almost came up with it, though.
Sure did. And the Pioneers are going to call a timeout with 1:23 remaining here in the first half. 14-13, Ramblers with the lead. 2nd and 15 from the Pioneer 31 coming up. We'll take a quick break and be back in 30 seconds right after this.
Just like a referee needs great eyesight to make the big calls, you need great eyesight to tackle life's challenges. At Advanced Optometry in Cadillac, their qualified and professional staff works together to ensure your visit is comfortable, accommodating your busy schedule and addressing any questions prior to your appointment. Whether it's a general eye exam or treating a condition that requires an in-depth diagnosis, you'll get undivided attention and a plan based on your needs and Advanced Optometry's expert opinion. Focused on your eye health, Advanced Optometry on Polister Street in Cadillac. Learn more at advancedoptometry.com.
14-13, McBain Ramblers lead the Clare Pioneers here in McBain. 1:23 remaining here in the first half. Ramblers with the ball. 2nd and 15 from the Clare 31-yard line. Pioneers calling their first timeout of the half. Ramblers have one timeout remaining. Jay Simon alongside Dr. Steve Preisel. Gary Hawkeye Vanna enjoying this game from the stands with his lovely wife, Kathy. Drew Vanna, his son, a senior, his last game in the green and gold at home. George Brown wants to throw. He's got a man over on the left side. Open McGillis, and well defended at the last moment. What a play by Drew Schuster, Steve, as he ran a long way and timed it perfectly. Got a hand up and knocked that ball away.
Yeah, Schuster, just a great play. He had to run about 25 yards just to get his hands on that, because he was open. That was Caden, wasn't it, that time?
That was Caden McGillis, the intended receiver. Yes, open. Yes, he was.
Nice play by the defensive back.
Trips to the left for Brown. 3rd and 15, under pressure, throws over the middle, caught by Daniel Rodenbaugh, and Rodenbaugh will hang on to it and take it over the 20-yard line down to the 16. And the linesman indicating to move the chains, and they will. It'll be a first down. That will stop the clock briefly.
Daniel was about a couple yards short, and he just turned around and said, I'm carrying both of you with me. Gets the first down.
1:03 and now in ticking. Rodenbaugh in motion. Brown rolling to his right. Under pressure. Will sling it up to the corner of the end zone. And this is going to be picked off. Ethan Barton slipped in the end zone. And Shane Jenkins was the only player left in that area. Gavin Seelan was coming over late. And that one, maybe an ill-advised throw by George. A little too much faith in his receivers. I think he wanted Barton for the jump ball, and normally you'd like Barton in that situation, but Ethan fell down in the corner.
When he went down and his 6'4", 6'5" frame did too, there wasn't much of a chance with that one.
So the turnover will give it back to Clare with 53 seconds remaining here in the first half. A lost opportunity for the Ramblers.
3 seconds left in the first half.
And the Pioneers will see what they can do with 53 seconds and 2 timeouts remaining. 14-13, McBain with the lead. 53 seconds to go. 4-receiver look. Shane Jenkins in the shotgun with Smedley next to him. Colt Smedley. Top 10 high school football name. And Smedley will take it up over the 25-yard line to the 26.
Ball outside the 25 to the 26.
Ramblers better make sure they wrap him up.
Yeah.
Because Smedley is, Smedley.
Yeah, you do not want him getting loose. There is no question about that. 30 seconds remaining. Clock continues to tick. Pioneers not looking to use their timeouts. Trevor Bode comes on the blitz. Picked up. Jenkins rolling to his right. We got a flag on the play. Ball is caught at midfield. Warner to the near sideline. Warner, it's a foot race. Now he'll cut back upfield. Warner still on his feet. Warner, Gavin Seelan will get a hand on him, but then Warner into the end zone. But we've got a flag, and the referee never moved.
That's coming back.
That is coming back. It is going to be a hold on the Pioneers. An exciting play, but all for naught. Gavin Seelan is slow to get up. He's going to get helped up. Hopefully he's all right. Boy, what a run after the catch by Alex Warner as he came to the near sideline, cut back. He only had one blocker against 6 green jerseys and still made them all miss. Gavin Seelan had the only opportunity inside the 5. He shed that tackle, but it was all for naught. 3.6 seconds remaining. It's going to come all the way back.
Warner's just a sophomore too. That was a strong run.
It was a great throw. Great throw too by Jenkins because he was coming across midfield and hit him in stride. So the holding call is going to take it all the way back now to about the 14-yard line, it looks like.
13-yard line to Pioneers.
So the Pioneers will run one last play here, barring a defensive penalty. 3.6 seconds left, and Jenkins is just going to take a knee. So that'll do it. First half of play is in the books. An exciting second quarter after a little bit of a downer first quarter. And the McBain Ramblers have a 14-13 lead over the Clare Pioneers. We'll take a break, collect our stats and thoughts, and be back. The McBain Hardware Halftime Show is coming up right after this.
High school students are training for the jobs of tomorrow today at the Wexford-Missaukee Career Technical Center in Cadillac. Juniors and seniors from 12 area high schools can choose from 14 career-driven programs. Free college credit is available. Visit WMISD.org and click or tap the Career Technical Education link. See all the great programs, then talk to your student's counselor. Call 876-2200. The Wexford-Missaukee Career Technical Center on 13th Street across from Baker College. Proud to serve the students of McBain High School. CTC is the place to be. In this moment, who has your back? Do you know the name of your insurance agent? Does your agent know your name? Or would you call a 1-800 number that connects you with who? Another state? Another country? Get a local independent insurance agent with Auto Owners Insurance. Someone you can call when bad stuff happens. In this moment, get an agent who will protect you in that moment. Shepherd's Agency, founded by Joseph Shepherd, and today celebrating nearly 100 years of serving all your hometown insurance needs. The Shepherd's Agency in downtown McBain. Call 231-825-2411.
Your one-stop farm supply store is Falmouth Co-op in the heart of agriculture country. With locations at Falmouth and McBain, Falmouth Co-op has what you need to keep all your animals well-fed and healthy, plus bulk fuel and professional agronomy services like custom fertilizers and spraying and soil and grid sampling. Falmouth Co-op is your premier grain dealer and birdseed headquarters, and the McBain location has pizza, burgers, wings, and appetizers. Stop in today at either location in Falmouth and McBain. Falmouth Co-op is proud to support McBain's student athletes.
Don's Auto Clinic, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and High Point GMC Cadillac continue to grow together to serve you better. Our staffs are a group of hardworking individuals who, just like you, get the job done every day by showing the dedication and determination to teamwork. You will not find a more dedicated team making the car or truck buying experience more seamless and easy. Locally owned dealerships, proud to support all local high school sports. We're behind you all the way.
McBain Rural Agricultural Schools is looking for the next generation of Ramblers. If you want to give your child the gift of a great education, make McBain Rural Agricultural Schools your school of choice. Every McBain Rambler gets a MacBook or iPad, a strong curriculum, including a variety of vocational programs, great athletics, and access to a brand new state-of-the-art performing arts center. Because great performances shouldn't be limited to the football field and basketball court. School of Choice is now open, which means a huge decision for your family is upon you. If you want a school that will challenge your child, support your child, and celebrate your child's individuality, make sure McBain is on your short list. It's never too late to change schools, and McBain is accepting students K through 12th grade. For more information, visit McBain.org or call the superintendent's office at 231-825-2165. That's 231-825-2165. 231-825-2165.
Making the final arrangements for a loved one is never easy. At Burkholder Family Funeral Home in McBain, they can help you get through the process one step at a time. Serving the families in McBain and the surrounding communities for over 40 years, they take pride in providing exceptional services that families can actually afford. The caring and compassionate staff at Burkholder Family Funeral Home can help ease the burden. Burkholder Family Funeral Home. Visit them today at 211 North Pine Street in McBain or call 231-825-8191.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. 175 or stop by their store located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain.
Welcome back to McBain High School. You're listening to the sounds of the 2019 McBain High School Marching Band under the direction of Drum Major Abigail Simon and Logan Krieger. We are at halftime, the McBain Hardware halftime show, where the Ramblers have a 14-13 lead over the Clare Pioneers. Jay Simon alongside Dr. Steve Preisel, Abby Danforth turning the dials for us back in the studio. And this has been an unusual first half as we take a look at the score sheets from this one. Started off a little bit rough in that opening quarter, Steve. There were 10 possessions, technically speaking, in that first quarter, but they went punt, pick, fumble, downs, punt, 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 interception. And the Ramblers took that interception to the house. Caden McGillis from about 30 yards out to put them on the board 6-0. It was the last play. Ball was snapped right as zeros went up on the board. And the Ramblers took a 6-0 lead into the second quarter. But the Clare Pioneers answered a 15-play drive, culminating in a 10-yard touchdown catch by Josh Gould from Shane Jenkins. The extra point gave the Pioneers a 7-6 lead, but the Ramblers would answer. Starting from their own 32, got a 15-yard penalty that took them into Pioneer territory at the 45. It was a pass interference play. Gavin Seelan had about 4 steps on his defender. They were forced to commit the interference to prevent the touchdown. And on the very next play, Seelan had about 6 steps on his defender. This time, George Brown got it to him. Seelan with the touchdown catch, Daniel Rodenbaugh with the 2-point conversion catch, and the Ramblers took a 14-7 lead. But the Pioneers, again, starting at their own 38-yard line, got a big play down to the Rambler 21, and then would punch it in. Shane Jenkins running it in from 2 yards out. The extra point, though, no good, and that is the difference in our game here at halftime. 14-13, the Ramblers with the lead. As I mentioned, Dr. Steve Preisel, superintendent here in McBain, joining me for this broadcast. Hawkeye is somewhere in the stands with his much, much, much better half, Kathy. I am told he has the iPad of doom. He's keeping the stats for the coaching staff. He usually does that as he does color for these broadcasts. And we were trying to get Alex Utek, one of the assistant coaches, to go down and harass him, see if he'd come up here in the press box and just give us the iPad. We don't want him to talk. We just want the stats. But we don't have them right now at the moment. But we can. Brown has thrown for a touchdown and been picked off twice. Seelan's caught a touchdown. Rodenbaugh with the 2-point conversion. And Caden McGillis has an interception return for a touchdown. But the thing is, if you're the Pioneers going into halftime here, Steve, you're probably feeling pretty good about yourself. You've put together the longest drive that either team has had in this first half, and you've had 2 long plays come back, 2 touchdowns actually come back called for on penalties.
Yeah, you know, when you look at that first quarter, like you said, it was a punt, interception, and then we get into the second quarter. It seemed almost like, especially the head coach for Clare, Coach Luplau, that the coaching staff got in a good rhythm calling plays, because when they had that first drive, it was pass, and then they found the running back Smedley, got him outside a couple times. They really got into a rhythm. I was getting a little nervous about if this is the way they're going to keep going, but Ramblers responded, and a couple big plays as well. But I agree. I think Clare's going in. They're on the road. They're down 1, and the Ramblers are really going to have to come out and show that strong defensive front right off the bat, because if Clare does repeat those 2 drives, it was pretty methodical, really, and they ate up a lot of time.
Halftime here in McBain. It's the McBain Hardware halftime show. Stop by, see Ron or Tyler for all your hardware needs. As Gary's brother-in-law will tell you, if McBain Hardware doesn't have it, chances are you probably don't need it. Our sincere thanks to McBain Hardware, as well as Advanced Optometry, McLean Transmissions, Pluger Mechanical, Northern Truck Service, and Shepherd's Insurance Agency for their support of tonight's broadcast. I want to let you know it's also brought to you in part by Forefront Credit Union, McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, the Wexford Misaki Career Tech Center, and McBain Family Pharmacy. 14-13, the Ramblers with the lead. Elsewhere, In other action, I swear I had that somewhere on here. Did that not print out? I had it right there. I don't know where it is on my notes. I do know that Lake City is at Sanford Meridian tonight. And the Trojans, right now, Snooze to You has the Trojans making the playoffs even with a loss. Sanford Meridian came into this game, I want to say they're 7-1. And so they were certainly favored over the Trojans, but last we heard Trojans had a 14-7 lead over the Mustangs, and a win would certainly guarantee their playoff position, but the Trojans are likely to get in at 5-4. Elsewhere in the Highland, we know Houghton Lake. Everybody's non-conference tonight. We started week 1 and week 9 non-conference. Houghton Lake is likely to make the playoffs. Actually, well, they have 5 wins. I think they're likely to make the playoffs. Beale City has already guaranteed their spot in the playoffs. And so the Highland hoping to have 4 teams playing next week somewhere. We talked in the pregame show a little bit about the different scenarios facing the Ramblers, but I think they'd like to control their own destiny, get a win tonight, guarantee their spot, not have to sweat it out Sunday night for the selection show.
I do too. You know, and everybody is looking at, you know, the Snooze to You. Yeah, I mean, they just do, but it's certainly no guarantee. Yep. You know, and Coach Maloney is they're just trying to get this win to get in and make their chances even higher. But, you know, I think playoff football, like you had mentioned early in the broadcast, it steps up a whole level. And so no matter where you go or who you're playing, you got to be ready to go. And McBain is, I really feel like we're hitting a stride at the right time of the year. And, you know, if we can come out in the second half and really keep some momentum going, but we got to be ready to knock them down that first defensive possession. We get the ball in the first half, I believe, right?
Yep, Ramblers will receive the ball to start the second half, absolutely. So maybe a bit of a missed opportunity. They did get intercepted in the end zone. They had the ball inside the 20-yard line of the Pioneers there toward the end of the first half. And hopefully that missed opportunity doesn't come back to haunt them. But the McBain High School Marching Band playing right now under the direction of drum major Abigail Simon. I'm not biased when I say she's the most adorable drum major you'll ever see out there. And Daniel Maloney playing, oh, that's not a trumpet. What is that? That's I don't know what that is. But kudos to Daniel Maloney playing in uniform.
Sorry, I couldn't help you on that one either.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I wasn't in the band, so I'm not sure. Whatever it is, they're doing a great job.
Actually, 2 football players playing with the band tonight. Good for them. I think the other one is Matt Utek, if I'm not mistaken. It is. So the football players coming out playing with the marching band at halftime. You always like to see that. I'm a little biased about the band, so not going to lie.
You know, and Mrs. Wiggins and I talk about, you know, of course, the athletics gets a lot of pub. It has its own section, sports page.
It does,
and so,
yes.
You know what?
I used to write for it, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, but these kids are in working hard during school, out of school, before school, and at home.
Yep.
And so there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm just really proud of these kids.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'll remind you, you're listening to WCDY McBain Cadillac Lake City as the marching Ramblers leave the field, going down the track. I always love the way they do this little move. I wish I could just, it's basically like 4 squats. All I know is I'd tear an ACL if I tried to do that. Cool little move. A little kick there at the end.
Well, you know, those seniors, that's their last run out there.
It's true, and I wish I knew the names of the, well, actually, I do know the names of them as
your workspace.
Harv Lucas has them here. Logan Krieger, Leanne Eisinga, Madeline Maloney, Daniel Maloney, and Hannah Smith, your 5 seniors on the high school marching band. We mentioned the 11 seniors on the football team. There's your 5 seniors in the marching band who will be graduating and have played in front of the home crowd at a football game for the last time. So kudos to those young men and women as well. This is the McBain Hardware halftime show. As we mentioned, the Snooze to You with his projections, we expect the Ramblers again, no matter the outcome of this game, to make the playoffs, but where they will be is the question. They could be as far as Oscoda on the far east side of the state. They could be at Thurlby Field and Traverse City St. Francis on Friday night. We don't have any idea. The selection show by the MHSAA is on Sunday night. I think that's on Fox Sports Detroit or something along those lines.
It is, yep.
And you can watch that. If you go to Snooze to You, I want to say he'll have it done by Saturday night. He'll update his blog. He'll tell you. If you follow him on Facebook or something, he'll let you know when he's got that done. He'll have the 256 teams. He knows the points. He knows all the formulas. He'll do that correctly, and so he'll know the teams by division. The only question will be if he has the matchups right. So, but if you see McBain in Division 7 on his site Saturday night, trust me, they're in the playoffs. We just don't know who they're playing. That'll be the only question.
Yep, and I think. I would be excited. St. Francis matchup. I mean, they've got a great tradition. In Oscoda, I would assume we've never played them.
That's a good question. I'd have to look that up. I don't know.
But playoff football will take anything, anywhere.
Well, and after that 1-3 start, I think anybody would have said they'd be thrilled to have an opportunity to play in football. That little whistle that you may or may not be able to hear indicates that the Northern Truck Service magic 3 minutes remaining have been added back to the clock. It's an ongoing running joke that we now sponsor, Steve, that I've never quite understood it. They put a certain amount of time on the clock for halftime, and the two teams have to be back on the field by the time that hits zeros, and then they give you 3 more minutes to warm up.
Yeah, not sure why they just don't add 3 minutes.
I don't either. That's thank you. Am I not?
It seems pretty simple math to me, but
I feel alone. The only thing I can assume is that maybe the coaches don't want to have to look for 3 minutes for warm up type of thing. Like you can just tell them, all right, be out here before zeros, and then we'll give you another 3 to warm up. I don't know. Maybe that makes it easier for them.
Well, they need it tonight. It's they're not exactly going into heated locker rooms either right now. So
it's a chilly one out there tonight. There's no question about that. What I can tell you is I actually had something I was leading into there. We don't know where they're going to be, but what we can tell you is that you will be able to hear them here on 107.9 CDY. We can guarantee you that, as wherever they end up being, we will be there. Hawkeye, I'm sure, will be back in the booth with me. He loves his wife, but I'm sure he'd rather be calling the game and freezing in the stands.
And it is so nice. There are some games, the Everett game that I wasn't in Everett, but I'm sitting at home and, I got my headphones on. My wife's kind of wondering, what am I doing? And because I'm getting excited. But it's just a great thing to be able to have these games online.
We love to do it, and we couldn't do it without our broadcast partners. I want to mention a few more of those. I'm going to have to ask you, Steve, the Falmouth Co-op is now known as something else. Do you know how to pronounce that?
Cirrus.
Is it Cirrus?
Cirrus, okay. Yes, is what I understand.
Cirrus Solutions, I believe, is what I'm told. And I wasn't sure how to pronounce that last week, and I got to make sure I change that in my show notes here. But Cirrus Solutions, McBain Auto Service, the Burkholder Family Funeral Home, McNally's Party Store, LC Materials, and Don's Auto Clinic in High Point Cadillac GMC. We could not do this without our broadcast partners, and we sincerely thank them for being with us all season long, and for those who will continue with us with playoff football 94% sure next week, regardless of the outcome tonight. But the Ramblers would love nothing more than to put together a 5th straight win and guarantee that spot in next week's playoffs.
I just want to add about one of our sponsors, Cirrus Solutions, actually just donated $5,000 to our backpack food program this morning.
Wow.
And so they are very active in our school community. They're new, but of course a lot of our Falmouth co-op workers are from the McBain community. But it was nice to see the new association that they have with them. And they're supporting our backpack program, and just really appreciate them.
That is fantastic. We know how to pick them. As broadcast partners, it's only the really nice ones.
Keep them coming.
Pioneers hustling out onto the field. They will be kicking off to the Ramblers to start the second half, 14-13. This has been the McBain Hardware halftime show here in McBain, and I can tell you right now, it is chilly. I know it's chilly, Steve. The Hall of Famer Harv Lucas is putting on his gloves. That's when you know it's cold even in the press box. He is nice enough to leave this window slightly open so we can have our field mic out there and pick up some of the sounds from the crowd. But it is cold for him on that basis. The chipped kickoff just over the 40-yard line. Daniel Rodenbaugh will fall on it at the 39, and that's where the Ramblers will start their opening possession of the second half.
Looks like the 42-yard line. 1st and 10.
Actually, they're going to mark this at the 37, we'll say. Ramblers out of that 4-man look. Ethan Barton with the catch, and Barton like ducking his head and just stumbling forward. I don't know how he avoided being tackled in that situation. Barton just sort of lowered like he was going through a low ceiling or something. Stepped through several white jerseys and picks up the big first down at the 47-yard line.
I am not sure George Brown realizes how strong his arm is. He flat-footed that time through like a sidearm and right on the money.
4-receiver look again for the Ramblers. 2 receivers split either way for George. McGillis is the tailback in the backfield. Brown throwing off his back foot for Rodenbaugh, a little high. And Rodenbaugh challenged by Drew Schuster on that play. And actually, Rodenbaugh had Schuster and had inside position there, but the ball thrown a little too high, a little too hot. Rodenbaugh can't come up with it. It'll be 2nd and 10. 11.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Ramblers with a 1-point lead.
Still running the spread out here. We haven't seen the full house yet.
Send Gavin Seeland in motion, and now we got a flag. Multiple flags. We got a false start on the Ramblers. Didn't quite see who committed that, but it's going to make it 2nd and 15 now for McBain. They'll go back into Rambler territory at the 48-yard line.
As much as George is able to throw tonight, our line has done a nice job of protecting him. He's been really pressured a little bit, but, you know, when you can step back and sling it.
We'll send Seeland in motion. Handoff is to McGillis, and McGillis not much going there. Sorry, that's Rodenbaugh who is in the backfield with him.
Number 34, Daniel Rodenbaugh.
And Rodenbaugh, really no yards. It'll be 3rd and 15 now from their own 48.
On that last stop,
just look a little off for some reason as we start the second half. That's could have almost got another false start on that play. Looked like somebody in the line might have moved a little early. It's not quite in sync here.
No.
Pat Maloney calling the play in. McGillis in the backfield with Brown. They'll send 3 receivers to the left. Seeland is your slot receiver on the far side as the Ramblers go left to right. Brown, pump fake for Seeland. Now he'll throw over the middle, and this is battled for. Is it intercepted? It is.
I don't know. I think Seeland grabbed it back.
Boy, I don't know.
I think Seeland battled. I think he grabbed that back.
Pioneers think they have it. Ramblers think they have it. Seeland comes up with it. Let's see what the officials say. And it is. It's going to be Rambler ball. Wow, that one.
What a scrappy play.
Gage Beckner, I think 55, I believe, was the Pioneer who initially had hands on that ball. Seeland was in the midst of it. It came out of hands. Multiple players grabbing at it, all standing around in a circle there, basically. And somehow the Ramblers come up with it. And it is a first down at the Pioneer 33. Big play by the Ramblers.
It was like a fumble on the ground, except they were all standing up.
Yeah, exactly. Trips to the right for Brown. Fakes, takes off straight up the middle, and nothing there. Got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10. That was a draw all the way as he pump faked right, looking for an opening up the middle. That was not there. Inside 10 minutes to go.
You know, the Seeland plays a big play, like you said before. We just didn't look very good in those first few possessions there.
Well, they've looked a little stilted for whatever reason to start this. Rodenbaugh in motion. Brown to throw. Underneath for Seeland, who's got it inside the 20. Spinning the defender, brings him down. That's Wagner, but he's got a first down at the Pioneer 15-yard line. 18-yard pickup for Gavin Seeland.
Great pass and catch, but I'll tell you, I'm going to give the kudos that offensive line again. I mean, George is stepping back, and there's nobody around him. That makes life a lot easier for your QB.
Seeland finding the soft spot in the zone there underneath, and Brown putting it right on the numbers. 9:25 and ticking to go here in the third quarter. Ramblers with a 14-13 lead. 1st and 10 now at the Pioneer 15. Brown in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers to his left. Wants to sling it out on a little wide receiver screen. This is Daniel Rodenbaugh, and Rodenbaugh will back his way up to the 10-yard line. 5-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 5. Rodenbaugh keeping the legs churning.
6 on the play, 2nd down, gain of 5, 2nd down and 5.
Ramblers look to the sideline for the play call. 8:50 to go here in the third.
Rambler offense here is starting to get clicking. Keep it going.
Brown wants to throw, rolling right. And now he's going to be knocked down, and he just lost this ball. This is going to be a fumble, and the Ramblers will come up with it, but way back at the 31-yard line. George Brown, I think, Steve, wanted to flip that ball forward, but boy, you got to just pull that down and eat it.
You know what?
Got to pull it down and eat it.
It's one thing. I know he's really confident in himself. There was a back over there, but I'm sure he would take that back if he could.
All the way back to the 31-yard line. So a 21-yard loss for the Ramblers makes it 3rd and officially a country mile. 3rd and 26 now from the 31.
We're lucky to get that back.
Yes.
21 yards on the play, but Ramblers will take
that ball squirting away from several players. Pioneers had the opportunity to catch it. Barton now in motion. Brown wants to throw. Looking for Barton, slinging it to that sideline, and overthrown for Barton. Shane Jenkins and Schuster defending on that far side. Ethan Barton drawing a lot of attention as he runs in motion. It'll be 4th and 26 now for the Ramblers from the 31. I don't know. This is where you say, all right, Gavin, run to the post.
And in high school football, really, you can just throw it up there because if they intercept it.
Right. Yes. As long as it's not Smedley with room to run.
Yes, they don't let him run it back.
Brown will sling it underneath and will bounce it to Hart as they were trying to find Hart in the middle as they pump fake to the outside, and Brown, under a little bit of pressure, will skip it short, and the Ramblers will turn it over on downs.
I'm sure that's a big boost for Claire to see McBain drive down and get to the into the red zone and then not be able to punch anything, get any points out of this.
Ramblers used up about 4.5 minutes. Pioneers now will get it back. 4 receiver look for Shane Jenkins in the shotgun. Fakes to Smedley, back to throw. Bode chasing him, throws it underneath, has a man, Wagner, open. Wagner will spin it up over the 40-yard line, brought down at about the 42.5. It's going to be a 11-yard pickup and a 1st down for Claire. And Trevor Bode maybe making the poor choice to go for the legs instead of trying to just corral Jenkins. Jenkins with the fake will keep it himself, stumbling over the 45-yard line out to about the 47. Give him a 7-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 5. Bode had Jenkins dead to rights, and I think he kind of went for the hit and the tackle right away instead of sort of breaking down and trying to grab him, right? I mean, you want to prevent him from getting a pass off. Again, easy to say up here. Trevor Bode has been absolutely stellar on the outside for the Ramblers. There's a throw to the outside. This is Schuster. Schuster bouncing off one would-be tackler. As a matter of fact, they never did bring him down, just stopped his forward momentum. He's got a 1st down just shy of the Rambler 45.
And this is real hints of what they looked like in the second quarter with those 2 big drives.
Yep.
And they're getting comfortable again. And Jenkins is, when you give him some time, he's hitting these guys.
Trips to the right for the Pioneers. He'll give it to Smedley. Smedley into the line and buried. Got over the 45, take him up to about the 42. Maybe a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Don't listen to Harb.
Number 25.
We'll go with your stats.
He's always disagreeing with me.
They are 6-1 in the
Trips to the right again. Smedley again. Nope, sorry, this is a different tailback. Bo Weldon, the sophomore, getting his first carry of the night, and he's got a Pioneer first down at the 35-yard line with a 7-yard pickup. Bo Weldon.
Bo Weldon. That's a good football name right there,
That is another good football name. A lot of good football names on this Pioneer squad. Inside 6 minutes to go here in the third. Ramblers have a 14-13 lead, got down inside the 15-yard line at a 2nd and 5 at the 10. But the drive stalled, and the Pioneers now putting one together themselves. And now we got a flag on the field. It's going to be a false start on Claire. That's going to cost them 5. Take it back to the 40-yard line of the Ramblers.
Ball brought to the 40-yard line. It'll be first down and 15.
Yeah, much like in the second quarter, these drives that they're putting together, just eating up the clock, too.
Again, trips to the right for Jenkins in the shotgun. Schuster is lone receiver near side. Jenkins bobbled the snap, picks it up, now slings it out to John Bushy, who takes it over the 40-yard line and wrapped up at around the 37-yard line. It'll be second down and about 12.
On stop number 24, George Brown.
So we come to the 5-minute mark to go here in the third. And now we are going to get timeout from the Ramblers. 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter in McBain. Ramblers have a 14-13 lead. Pioneers threatening 2nd and 12 from the Rambler 37 coming up. We'll take a 30-second break and be back right after this.
Don's Auto Clinic, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and High Point GMC Cadillac continue to grow together to serve you better. Our staffs are a group of hardworking individuals who, just like you, get the job done every day by showing the dedication and determination to teamwork. You will not find a more dedicated team making the car or truck buying experience more seamless and easy. Locally owned dealerships, proud to support all local high school sports. We're behind you all the way.
And welcome back to McBain High School. Jay Simon alongside Dr. Steve Preisel. Abby Danforth turning the dials for us back in the studio. Hawkeye with the night off, enjoying his son Drew's final home game in the green and gold as a senior here with his lovely wife Kathy in the stands. Probably a little chillier than we are up here in the press box.
Yeah, it's not a bad place to be right now.
Really not. Really not. Good vantage point. We just have to talk to you fine folks listening in. Grateful that you are. 14-13 Ramblers with the lead, but the Pioneers now with a 2nd and 12 from the Rambler 37. Trips to the right for senior quarterback Shane Jenkins out of the shotgun. Jenkins wants to throw. Pump fake. Looking for his man. Got him burned and beaten and into the end zone. Touchdown Pioneers. Caden McGillis bit on the stop and go, and Schuster just ran right by him into the end zone. And the Pioneers answer and take a 19-14 lead.
Well, for those of you that are listening, that's what you see on Saturdays and Sundays.
That's a textbook. Yes.
Pump fake, the corner breaks, and he hits him.
Well, and McGillis was the right guy to bait on that, too, because Caden already has the pick 6, and he bit hard, and no safety help. Schuster outran the defense, and the Pioneers, the extra point is good. So with 4:52 remaining, the Pioneers have taken a 20-14 lead here in the third quarter.
Yeah, you know, we had the very, in the first quarter, the punt and the kickoffs, punt. Seemed like the first quarter just had no rhythm, and it took forever. Yep. And now we're sitting here at 4:50 left in the third, and it seems like it's flying.
Now the Pioneers have a 3-2 win over Sanford Meridian this year, and it looked like this might be one of those types of games. 9 possessions, 10 if you count Caden McGillis's interception at the buzzer, basically. The play snap right as the clocks hit 0. Last play of the first quarter, McGillis with the interception to give the Ramblers a 6-0 lead. But every play before that, punt, fumble, interception, fumble, or punt. And the first quarter, we slogged through it, as I said, with 10 possessions. But it has been much better. Really, both offenses. The Ramblers have had opportunities. They've gotten into the red zone twice in that second quarter and here to start the third, and just haven't been able to finish it off. And the Pioneers have put together a couple of long drives. This one, just 9 plays, but the 15-play drive in the second quarter. Ramblers' last possession was 12 plays.
Right.
But just couldn't finish it. Squib kick taken by Hart, and Hart thought he had his knee down when he scooped that up. He short-stopped it off the turf. I'm surprised. They must have felt he picked that knee up before he had possession or touched the ball. So the Ramblers would get it at the 40-yard line. Claire unwilling to kick the ball deep as well, apparently.
As you said, the Ramblers are moving the ball. Claire's moving the balls. Might be a matter of who gets the ball last if they keep going at this rate.
Yeah.
And who can eliminate the turnovers.
And the Ramblers will come out with Deacon Dottie under center, full house backfield. Dottie will give it to George Brown III, who runs over Shane Jenkins, who got a little bit lower. I thought Jenkins was a pretty tall drink of water compared to his teammates, but Brown's looking him in the eye at 6'3", 6'4".
And George, when he gets around the corner and gets about 3 yards going forward, he just loves to lay that shoulder down.
Yeah, the Ramblers had a tailback who was about 6'2" when I first started broadcasting, whose name is just falling out of my head. That was the joke. He could pick up 3 yards just by hitting the line and falling over.
Yeah.
Gavin Seelan with the handoff. Gavin Seelan spinning his way close to midfield. It'll depend on where they mark this. This is going to be very close, and actually the line judge is going to say that's a Rambler first down.
Well, go to your 2 seniors, your 2 leaders. Time's slipping away. Well, it's not slipping away, but every possessions are going to count.
Ramblers will look to the sideline for the call. Deacon Dottie remains out there under center at quarterback. Full house backfield for McBain. 3:50 remaining here in the third quarter. Pioneers lead it 20-14. Dottie will give it to Rodenbaugh. Rodenbaugh moves the pile forward to about the 46, call it the 47-yard line. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And it is 2nd and 7 for the Ramblers.
4 yards in a cloud of dust. Make it 2nd and 6. On the line. Ramblers.
Full house backfield again. Dottie under center. Handoff is to Brown. Brown picking his way forward. Nope, that's Rodenbaugh. And Rodenbaugh will spin his way to the 45-yard line. Gain of a couple. And it'll bring it up 3rd and 5 now for McBain. But this is, we jokingly refer to this as the maroon zone. You get over midfield, but outside the red zone, it's usually 2-down territory in high school football, depending on the situation. 3rd and 5 now for McBain as we get inside 2:50 to go here in the third. Dottie will give it to Seelan. Seelan hit in the backfield, a great tackle. And now we got a flag is going to come in, and we're going to get a taunting call, and that's an easy one. It was a great tackle by Kyle Yost by the Pioneers, but unfortunately, Kyle decided to let Gavin know that he had tackled him in a way that drew the attention of the head linesman, and a flag comes out. I think we're going to get an unsportsmanlike call. That's going to hurt Claire.
It didn't look like the exchange was real clean that time between Dottie and Seelan either.
It looked bobbled. Yep.
But you're right. He was right there to wrap up Gavin.
It was a great tackle. Just drilled him. And that's the hard thing about football, Steve. I highly doubt that Kyle said anything really inappropriate to Gavin Seelan in that situation. He made a great play and tackled the kid. And this whole game is predicated on emotion and adrenaline and being all fired up. And then we tell him, all right, well, be polite and help the kid. It's tough to do.
It's hard to turn it on.
Really tough to do. Absolutely. So the Ramblers will get it at the 30-yard line, first down. And Gavin Seelan will take the handoff. Maybe the 28. Give him a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8 now for the Ramblers. And I think we've got, is Owen Bonico out there? Is he on the line, or is he playing tight end?
Well, you know what, in this offense?
I think he's playing tight end, isn't he?
Yes. He's playing outside the tackle.
It's a heck of a blocker out there.
Yeah. This is a real formidable offense right here.
It really is. little confusion. Dottie wants to throw. Dottie looking for Seelan at the sideline. And we got a flag coming out. Shane Jenkins getting his feet tangled up with Gavin Seelan. And Seelan and Jenkins give a little helmet tap to each other, saying, hey, man, my bad, nothing intentional there. But Jenkins, unfortunately, probably just looking at the ball, trying to catch up to that. Seelan had a step or two on him, and they got tangled up. And unfortunately for the Pioneers, and fortunately for the Ramblers, that's a pretty easy call. The interference call is going to give the Ramblers another first down, and they'll move this up to the 13-yard line. I actually should be half the distance, right?
Yep, half distance here.
So this will go to the 14-yard line. McBain now with a first down at the 14. Again, full house backfield. Dottie will give it to Rodenbaugh, straight up the middle. Rodenbaugh into the end zone. Touchdown, Ramblers. Great play by McBain. Rodenbaugh, the first man by. They'd been handing it off to the second and third guy to have the blocking, and instead Rodenbaugh goes straight up the gut. Great blocking by the offensive line, and the Ramblers have tied it at 20 apiece.
Well, and I wasn't an offensive lineman, but an offensive lineman certainly likes to do that run blocking. It's a lot more fun for them, and they're having fun. They had fun on that drive. That was really a strong drive, and Rodenbaugh just runs so strong.
Ramblers will come out in the spread look. They've got trips to the right for George Brown III. Brown rolling to his right, throwing for the end zone. Rodenbaugh, what a catch! 2-point conversion is good, and with 1:46 to go here in the third, the Ramblers have a 22-20 lead.
That was an outstanding catch by Rodenbaugh, just right on his fingertips. He pulls it in.
What a catch. Rodenbaugh now with a touchdown and two-point conversion catches, and the Ramblers, after marching down the field on a couple of different possessions, Stephen, that spread formation, come out full house and go 60 yards for the touchdown.
When you look at Rodenbaugh in the backfield with Seelan and Brown, Coach Maloney's got some real different options. I mean, you got Brown who gets outside and really lays down the hammer. Got shifty Seelan in there, and Rodenbaugh is shifty, but he just keeps it moving. He's a strong kid. But again, I say that offensive line, they're doing an outstanding job. When they're running the spread, they're keeping them well protected. But in that run offense, in the full house, they're moving some bodies.
1:46 remaining here in the third quarter. The Ramblers answering the Pioneer touchdown benefited from a pair of 15-yard penalties, one personal foul, one unsportsmanlike conduct, and then a pass interference call. So 30 of those 60 yards coming on penalties. Well, 29, I guess, of those yards coming on penalties. But the Ramblers take advantage, and now they will drop one in, another booted little
onside kick.
Basically onside kick covered by Gage Beckner, the sophomore. And so the Pioneers now will have excellent field position. But I'm telling you right now, Pat Maloney will never kick the ball to Smedley again, ever.
You and I could have went out and did that one there.
Smedley could come up to the 45-yard line and they'd still kick it up. Take the chance on him getting it there. So great field position now for the Pioneers at their own 48-yard line with 1:44 remaining here in the third quarter. Smedley on the handoff, coming near side to the sideline and chased out of bounds. Gavin Seelan forcing him out. And he's lucky he ran out of surface area because Owen Bonico would have been the next green jersey in his way had he turned upfield.
And somebody's name we haven't said is Lucas Skolton. I mean, Lucas that time was coming straight down the line and really made him head to the sideline. Good pursuit.
7-yard pickup. It's 2nd and 3 now for the Pioneers. Trips to the right for Shane Jenkins. He'll hand it off to Smedley. Smedley's got the first down and more. Straight up the middle, right into Gavin Seelan, who jiu-jitsus him to the turf. And then we got a late flag that comes in after the play. And I glanced down, so I did not see
anything.
What happened. But they're calling this against the Ramblers. We wait for referee Kevin Taylor. It's a face mask call on McBain.
Flag on the field, penalty marked off.
Not even sure how that happened. He put his head right into Sealand's chest, and Sealand just kind of dragged him to the ground, but apparently got his hand up in the face mask area, so the 5-yard, kind of an inadvertent one, I guess. So it turns into, in essence, a 14-yard pickup, first down for the Pioneers. Jenkins in the shotgun will give it to Smedley. Smedley around the right edge, has it to the 30. And down to about the 29-yard line, 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Pioneers as we get inside 50 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Back and forth we go. Trips to the right now for Jenkins. Jenkins will give it to Smedley. Smedley straight up the middle, room to run, sheds a tackler, sheds another tackle, and then finally brought down in the second level by Gavin Sealand. But he's got another Pioneer first down up at the 17-yard line, 12-yard pickup by Colt Smedley, who is finding his rhythm as a runner.
He is, and you know, for those of you that can't see him that are listening to us, he doesn't look that large, does he?
He's not physically imposing, but he's quick.
He is fast, and if you don't wrap him up, it's a little scary.
Jenkins on a quarterback run, design quarterback run.
Jenkins, the ball carrier, inside the 15.
Inside the 15-yard line, spotted at around the 14, 3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7 now for the Pioneers. But the clock in the third quarter will run out. 3 quarters in the books, 12 minutes remaining in this one. The McBain Ramblers clinging to a 22-20 lead. But the Pioneers have a 2nd and 7 at the Rambler 14. We'll take a break and be back. Fourth quarter action coming up right after this.
With straightforward rewards checking from 4Front Credit Union, you get 4% rewards for doing stuff you do every day. Like logging onto your account and receiving e-statements. And you can open your account right online. It's that straightforward. Unlike someone's tee shot. Straightforward rewards from 4Front Credit Union. Are you getting 4%? 4.08% annual percentage yield. Rate subject to change. Interest paid on balance up to $15,000. Some requirements apply. Insured by NCUA.
When it's late, when it's snowing, when you just have to have it. It's nice knowing McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain is open 7 days a week. Locally owned and operated with the friendliest cashiers helping to serve your grocery needs. From candy and chips to pop and munchies, McNally's Party Store, they're still keeping it cold. And wishing the McBain Ramblers good luck in tonight's game. That's McNally's Party Store in downtown McBain, open 7 days a week.
12 minutes remaining in this one. Here in McBain, the Ramblers have a 22-20 lead over the Clare Pioneers, but the Pioneers with a 2nd and 7 at the Rambler 14-yard line, looking to answer the Rambler touchdown. It was a back and forth, tough way going for the offenses in the first quarter, but since then, they have looked fantastic. And the Pioneers putting together another lengthy drive that started at their own 48. Shane Jenkins, the senior quarterback, will hand it off to Colt Smedley, who tries the right side of the line, and Smedley will take it inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line, where it'll be about 3rd and 2 for the Pioneers.
3rd down and 2. On stop number 24, George Brown.
George Brown, the 3rd in on the tackle. Trips to the right for the Pioneers. Jenkins now with a different quarterback, or a different tailback. Weldman taking it straight up the middle, and Weldman bouncing off of a linebacker, got driven backward. But I believe first his momentum is going to take him really close to the first down. Let's see where they mark this. They may bring the sticks over.
Timeout on the field.
I thought he had it fairly easily. Our angle is tough. It's one of the things I joke about this every week. So I'll say 2 things, Steve, while they bring the sticks in. And now why did the head linesman just throw a flag on the far side and then walk over? That was a little odd. I know. Anyway, in any case, one of my favorite things to say, the 2 most difficult jobs in the universe are mothering and officiating, and I want nothing to do with either one. That being said, it's one of the things that amuses me about football is, and this is the way it is in the NFL, right? You've got all these billions of dollars in the NFL, and we trust these 50 and 60-year-old guys to spot the ball based on where they saw these extraordinarily large and fast gentlemen when their knee touched the ground and where the ball was in the air. Right. It just amazes me. I couldn't do it.
No.
And I realize they're trained, but that just stuns me.
And football's a little bit different with the refereeing just because they're at least away from the crowd a little bit. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to.
Everybody thinks they can do it better. Yeah. So they are short. It'll bring up 4th down and about a yard now. Jenkins is going to go under center. We might see a goose play here, and we do. Jenkins will take it straight forward, but we got a flag. And it's going to be a false start, and the Pioneers are going to have to go backward now.
And I'll tell you what, they weren't going to get it either.
Now, Jenkins was stopped initially, although he bounced out to the right after the, I don't know if that was because of the whistle and the Ramblers stopped. I'm not sure, but.
Big play.
I'm almost more nervous as a Rambler fan with this much room for the Pioneers. Are they going to try a field goal? They are bringing out Huffman. Alec Hoffman, the senior kicker, is coming out onto the field. So from a 4th and 6 at the 13-yard line, we're going to see that rarest of Northern Michigan high school football plays, a field goal try with 10.5 to go here in the 4th.
They got to watch it. Jenkins is holding.
Jenkins is holding. Good hold, and the kick is blocked by the Ramblers. It should be a dead ball. No field goal. You can run this. So McGillis picks it up. And McGillis coming back. Hold on to that ball, Caden. We'll take it over 25. No, he lost it.
Oh, boys, you got to hang on to the ball here.
The Ramblers still have it? They do.
They do.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I think that was an intentional pitch. They got to watch that.
Did he do it again?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but it looked to me like he pitched.
I'll tell you right now, if I see Caden McGillis in a hallway.
Hang on to that, my friend.
I'm going to try pitching him something and see what he does.
He's a great athlete, and he's real confident, but boys, this is 4th quarter.
Oh, my word. So the field goal is blocked. The Ramblers run it back to the 33-yard line, and now they come out in the full house backfield. Handoff is to Brown. Brown around the right edge with room. We got a flag behind the play, though. That is likely holding, and now a late flag comes out on the far side after Brown was tackled. So we'll have to see.
I think he's got a face mask over there.
Well, the referee doesn't see the other flag. Does he see the other flag? I don't know what the other flag was. The linesman's not coming over. Maybe the head linesman must have seen the hold as well and just threw the flag a little later.
Yeah, I guess I thought I saw him doing the face mask, but whatever.
Yeah,
we're not running the show, I guess.
No. No, and honestly, rightfully so.
Yeah.
So the Ramblers will go back to their own 24-yard line after the pickup and then the penalty. Again, full house backfield. Deacon Dottie will hand it off to Rodenbaugh, and there's nothing up the middle for Rodenbaugh. Might have gotten a yard. Very close. Certainly no more than that. So it'll be 2nd and 20 now for McBain from around the 25-yard line. 9:20 to go in the ball game as Owen Bonico comes off the field. And the Ramblers come out in that 4-receiver spread formation now as they get away from the full house backfield. Brown wants to throw. Now he'll step up and run, and he's going to get dragged down. There wasn't anything for him there. Schuster defending Sealand on the far side as Gavin Sealand was running that sprint up the right sideline, and Schuster staying with him. Brown didn't really have the time to throw that ball anyway.
I'd be shocked if they didn't make some type of adjustment with when they're in passing formation too, or passing downs, I should say. They're going to play Sealand straight up. I mean, they're not going to leave him.
On that last stop, number 65, Dylan Shaw. 3rd down and 20 for McBain.
So Brown looking to their wrists as they look to Coach Maloney for the signal.
Got to be careful here.
Not going to get this play off. Nope. Ramblers kept looking at their wrists. Maloney was no longer signaling, so I'm not sure what they thought the play call was supposed to be, but the confusion is going to cost him 5 yards on the delay game. Take him back to about the 20-yard line. Actually, inside the 20, back to about the 19. In any case, 8:18 remaining here in the ball game. 22-20, Ramblers with the lead after blocking a Pioneer field goal attempt. And right now, the Pioneer defense doing a number on McBain. Brown out of the shotgun.
We're going the wrong way.
Trying to set something up. Now he's going to throw, slinging it, looking for somebody, and is that caught? No, incomplete. Schuster defending Gavin Seelan. A lot of contact down there, but Schuster got in the way. I think Seelan actually had his hands on it initially, just could not pull it in. That would have been one heck of a play.
It's a great effort. I don't think Coach Maloney likes the call well much, but
Also got a tip of the hat.
So it'll be 4th now and 25 for McBain, and we will see a George Brown III punt, and he's going to want to hit a good one here because you've got Colt Smedley deep along with Josh Gould. A lot of speed back to receive this punt right now. Brown steps back and gets off a beauty, a high punt, but it's going to go to the right sideline and go out of bounds. Nope, it stays inbounds. Well, Pioneers are pointing. I think it did land out of bounds. So the Pioneers will get it back at the Rambler 48-yard line. So good position, field position for Claire. The field goal block, big for the Ramblers, but Claire essentially going to get it right back with good field position.
We started the pregame talking about we didn't know what to expect from Claire, and really this game's been like that. It's kind of been up and down.
Trips to the right for Jenkins in that spread look. I'll hand it off to Colt Smedley. Smedley cutting back. We'll take it just over the 45-yard line. Gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 now for Claire. 7:45 and ticking to go here in the ball game. Ball is marked just over the 45-yard line. Yards are so long, the football is so short. It's the 44.5. Jenkins out of the shotgun again, trips to the right. Give it again to Smedley. He'll try the right side.
Nice
Ramblers again. Nice job. Is that Trevor Bode got into the backfield? Hit him initially and got some help. No, actually, I got to give credit where credit is due. That is Kagan Yaklin, who is playing wearing number 18.
Kagan wrapped him up and dropped him right at the line of scrimmage.
Couple yard pickup. 3rd down and 6. Jenkins wants to throw. He's got a man underneath. He's got pressure. And a great job. George Brown III wraps him up. They're going to say this is an incomplete pass. Jenkins just got that off as Brown, who reached out, got a hold of the jersey. And George Brown III with a paw brings him down.
Very timely, that during the game, we haven't really got to him. We haven't got our hands on him. Because he gets rid of it so quick. That time he rolls out to the right.
And he had this man underneath again, Wagner, who he's hit in that flat, or Warner, he's hitting that flat so often, was open again.
Big play.
Excuse me, actually, that was Bushy. Pioneers going for it. Quick pass, caught. And that is a 1st down for the Pioneers. Schuster running out on a little button hook, if you will. Got just past the 1st down marker, and Jenkins hits him in the numbers. And the Pioneers have a 1st down at the 35 of the Ramblers.
Here comes tempo again.
Pioneers quickly to the line. They'll give it to Smedley. Smedley over the right side, churning those legs. Ramblers trying to stack him up. And they will stop him at about the 33-yard line. Give him a couple yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and about 8. Call it 7.5. Inside 6.5 to go in the ball game. I know the Pioneers want to do this tempo, Steve, but does it surprise you at all they wouldn't try to run more clock here?
You would think, especially the way this game's gone back and forth. We talked about.
Yep.
Last team might be the.
Smedley will take it over the left side, and the Ramblers with great penetration into the backfield and bring him down. Is that Yaklin as well?
He's got a.
I can't get a number. I see the kid. I need him to look. Is that That's actually Ethan Barton on the right side. Yep, Ethan Barton with the tackle. Ball marked back just outside the 35-yard line, so a couple-yard loss back to the original line of scrimmage. We're at 3rd and 10 now for the Pioneers. Jenkins will send Smedley to his right. He's got 2 receivers split either way. Fake, wants to throw. Plenty of time, throwing underneath, wide open underneath is Bushy. Bushy hurdles a defender, and then Rodenball with the tackle takes him out of bounds, but not before Bushy is down close to the 15-yard line, and the Pioneers have a big first down.
Jay, I don't know how a guy gets that open. I mean, again, it's easy to call it up here, but he didn't have anybody within probably 10, 15 yards of him.
No, and they send so many people sideways. I don't know if there's defenders running into each other trying to stay with their man. If the Ramblers are in man-to-man, I'm so busy watching the ball I can't tell what they're running. Come out again in a 4-receiver look. Jenkins will give it to Smedley, and Barton got penetration, grabbed his leg, and wrapped him up right away. Smedley managed to get forward a couple yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 now as we hit the 5-minute mark to go here in the ball game. Last report, by the way, Steve, Lake City still had a 14-10 lead over Meridian. Looking for their 6th win to guarantee their spot in the postseason. Ramblers are trying to hold on. 22-20. McBain with the lead with 4:40 and ticking to go. Pioneers looking to the sideline for the call. Now they'll come out in that 4-receiver look. Jenkins has 2 split either way with Smedley in the backfield with him. Jenkins fakes it, throwing out to the left flat, and I believe his intended receiver slipped to the turf. The ball was towards Schuster, but I actually think that Bushy was his intended receiver.
Agreed. He tried to cut and fell down.
I don't even have a 60 on my roster, but whoever he is trying to get the Rambler faithful fired up. 4:26 remaining in this one, and the Ramblers trying to hold on. 3rd and 9 now for the Pioneers as they bring in some substitutions. 2 receivers split to the right. Bring out a tight end. Look, this is a big jumbo line, and now they'll send Smedley out to the left side. Jenkins in the shotgun. Wants to throw, flipping it toward the end zone. Is that caught? It is! Wow! A one-handed grab by Jacob Recker, the sophomore. That ball just flipped toward the end zone by Shane Jenkins, and Recker somehow reaches out and brings it in. What a catch.
Gets his one hand on it and bobbles it a bit and pulls it in. You know what, though, with Jenkins that time, what a nice throw. He saw the defender's back to him, and he just lobbed it up over the top of him.
Recker, the only player who had a chance at that ball.
Yep.
And so 26-22, and the Pioneers will go for 2 to try and force the Ramblers should they score a touchdown.
Man in motion,
Jenkins rolling right, looking into the end zone, short. And the incomplete pass will keep the score 26-22 with 4:21 remaining in the ball game. Plenty of time on the clock for McBain. We'll take a break and be back right after this.
Just like a referee needs great eyesight to make the big calls, you need great eyesight to tackle life's challenges. At Advanced Optometry in Cadillac, their qualified and professional staff works together to ensure your visit is comfortable, accommodating your busy schedule and addressing any questions prior to your appointment. Whether it's a general eye exam or treating a condition that requires an in-depth diagnosis, you'll get undivided attention and a plan based on your needs and Advanced Optometry's expert opinion. Focused on your eye health, Advanced Optometry on Polister Street in Cadillac. Learn more at advancedoptometry.com.
High school students are training for the jobs of tomorrow today at the Wexford-Misaki Career Technical Center in Cadillac. Juniors and seniors from 12 area high schools can choose from 14 career-driven programs. Free college credit is available. Visit WMISD.org and click or tap the Career Technical Education link. See all the great programs, then talk to your student's counselor. Call 876-2200. The Wexford-Misaki Career Technical Center on 13th Street across from Baker College. Proud to serve the students of McBain High School. CTC is the place to be.
Got a barn burner here in McBain. 26-22. The Clare Pioneers lead the Ramblers with 4:21 remaining. as the Pioneers will dribble the ball up the middle, scooped up off the turf by Hart. And Josh Hart Jr. will take it up over the 35 to about the 37-yard line. That's where McBain will try to answer the Pioneer touchdown as they trailed by 7 with, or 6 with, excuse me, 6. They trail by 4 with 4:15 remaining.
On that stop for the Pioneers, number 7, Jacob Recker.
Heck of a first matchup between these.
Ramblers' first possession of the fourth quarter ended in a punt after they got a blocked field goal. We'll now see what they can do. George Brown III slinging it, and he's picked off right in the middle of the field. I don't know if Ethan Barton was the intended receiver, but boy, George, I'm going to say didn't even see that white jersey, because that ball was essentially thrown right at that defender from our angle.
A lot of traffic in there.
A lot of traffic out there. Did not see who got the interception, but that is largely irrelevant. The Pioneers now will take over at the Rambler 43-yard line with an opportunity now to ice this one with 4:03 remaining. Ramblers not out of it. A lot of clock remaining. Smedley over the right sideline, and the Ramblers just bury him. Whoa.
One play at a time here. So it's took a lot of time.
Maybe a 1-yard pickup. There is plenty of time on the clock if the Ramblers can get a 3 and out. Claire will look to the sideline for the play call, and you know they'll be looking for the back judge and the arm to indicate 10 seconds, and then the swinging arm to indicate the last 5. That's when I would expect Shane Jenkins to call for the snap.
Yeah, no.
2nd and 9 from the 42 of McBain, 3.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. Smedley will take it around the left side on the sweep, trying to get out of bounds, and can't tell what the indication.
I think, yeah, they said he got out.
Yeah, is that what the 2 arms above the head means? Stop the clock? Yep. So he did go out of bounds, which actually good for the Ramblers.
I heard the assistant coach
No
up
pickup
here from Claire yell out, no.
So the clock stops with 3:23 remaining. 3rd and 9 now from the 42 as the Ramblers pinning their ears back and coming after any running play here. And this is an interesting call because Jenkins has burned them with the throw. Do you go for the first down here, or do you run it with Smedley? Smedley shifts to the left side. They got 4 receivers. They send a man in motion. And now we got a flag.
Flag on the field.
Matters for the Pioneers.
False start.
And it is. It's a false start on the Pioneers, so that's going to cost them 5. It'll take it back to the 47-yard line, and it's going to be 3rd and 14 now for Claire. 3:23 remaining in the ball game. A couple of big defensive plays coming up right now for the Ramblers. Need to get this ball back to give themselves an opportunity after the interception put the Pioneers in business in Rambler territory. 4 receivers, 2 split either way for Shane Jenkins, the senior QB. In the shotgun, wants to throw. Plenty of time. Firing over the middle, has a man. Caught at the 30-yard line. It's a first down, Pioneers. What a throw from Shane Jenkins, right on the money to Alex Warner.
That's just a really gutsy call in my book, because they've been, remember they were running that the entire first half, and we were actually getting our hands on the ball, and boy, Jenkins threw a dart. That hurts.
They'll mark the ball at the 31-yard line of the Ramblers, and it does, because it means now the Pioneers can go back to the ground and chew up clock. Jenkins in the shotgun with Colt Smedley in the backfield. 4 receivers, 2 either way as they wait for the back judge's arm. There it goes, 10 seconds. And now we're going to get movement by the Pioneers.
Illegal motion against the Pioneers.
So that will send them back to the 26-yard line. And if I'm not mistaken, that will stop the clock. It won't start now until the snap. 2:44 remaining in the game. Will they get to go again? Okay. Well, now they get to go more clock.
They do start it up.
Well, I almost don't like that if I'm the Ramblers. I don't want the yards. I want the time, right?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't, does it?
Because, strategically.
It's right. It's a little weird.
Yes.
Ramblers come on the blitz, and we've got a flag. It's another false start on the Pioneers. But, boy, I'll tell you, if the clock just keeps starting, they don't care because they're not losing downs. It's a little bit weird, but again, I've never claimed to truly understand football, so.
That's ridiculous.
But if they keep up the false start stuff,
see this. Well,
now he's saying don't start this. Now he's saying don't start the clock. Yep.
All right.
So the clock does not start now at 2:19. It's a 1st and 20 now for Pioneers. Jenkins again, 2 receivers either way. In the shotgun, will keep it himself. Makes a man miss in the backfield, cutting back upfield and then buried. Ramblers thought the ball came out. It did after the Owen Bonico tackle, but that was caused by the ground. And now the Ramblers will call timeout with 2:08 remaining in the ball game. Ball will be marked at the 40-yard line, and it's going to be 2nd and 19 for the Pioneers. So with 2:08, it's a 25-second clock. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. I don't think they've called another timeout in the second half, right?
No.
If you do the math, if they call those 2 timeouts on these next plays and are able to force either a pooch punt or an attempted field, I don't know what the Pioneers might do depending on how far they get. You're probably looking at less than 1:20 to go.
Right.
If they get it back.
Get the ball back, no timeouts. But you know what? You got to stop the clock. So I mean, you got to eat up your.
Yeah, you got athletes, and you just hope you can get them into space and see if something can happen. But that's all they got left in the tank here. But right now they need stops. 2nd and 19 for the Pioneers. 26-22. Claire with the lead. Ramblers trying to get the ball back to give themselves an opportunity. Don't forget, stick around. We'll have the Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show where we put Steve under the pressure he didn't know he was going to get, and he has to give out all our post-game hardware.
This really has.
Hawkeye didn't tell him that.
No, well, he kind of did. So this really has been an entertaining game. We started off the first 12 minutes, but with
well, I'm glad you're up here because Hawkeye just would have been an emotional wreck during this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'm sure he's a wreck, but he's a wreck down in the stands.
He's hiding somewhere.
Yeah.
2 minutes remaining. Pioneers swinging to a 4-point lead.
4 receiver look for Shane Jenkins out of the timeout. Wants to throw underneath. Caught. And Warner on the left side will take it up to about the 35-yard line, and the Ramblers will call their second timeout. It's a 5-yard pickup. And it's going to bring up 3rd and about 14 for the Pioneers. 1:59 remaining. So we'll get it. They might have a little more time than I was thinking, but still with no timeouts if they can get a stop here. Gutsy call to throw the ball in that situation. All it takes is a drop, and you can't stop. You don't force a timeout call.
And the way the Ramblers were defending that post in the first half, they just did a really nice job. But they got a lot of confidence in that senior quarterback, Shane Jenkins.
Sure do.
And he's a senior, and the senior stepped up. That was a big play. Hopefully the Ramblers can get the ball back here with a little under 2 minutes and hope for a little bit of magic.
Yeah, they went to the
You know who we called the magician last year? I don't know if you guys called him that this year, but Mr. Seeland. So
Gavin Seeland, pre-knee injury, easily the best athlete on the field.
Yep.
Still one of the best. They're going to hand it off to Colt Smedley, and Smedley will be stacked up at around the 33 or so, and it'll be 4th and long now for the Pioneers as the Ramblers take their final timeout.
Why?
No, they do not. Actually, clock continues to run. They can let this run down to about 1:20 or so.
Jay, I thought we had one left too.
Well, either we're hanging on to it, or I think the Pioneers might be looking to call a timeout before The referee standing right next to Shane Jenkins. And as he indicates the last seconds, they will call timeout. So with 1:11 remaining in the ball game, the Clare Pioneers will call timeout. 4th and 13 coming up. I'm not sure if we'll see a shot to the end zone, if we'll see a pooch punt. They do have Shane Jenkins, who is the punter for the Pioneers, similar to how the Ramblers use George Brown III, and so they can line up, get the ball to him quickly, and let him kind of pooch this thing if he wants to, and make the Ramblers go, 85, 90 plus yards in just over a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to assume they're going to pooch punt the thing.
Plus, if you can pooch punt it away from somebody, you kill some clock,
yeah.
right?
I mean, I'm assuming they're going to do that because, on the defensive side for Clare, when McBain gets the ball back, we have been moving the ball. And we've got guys that, you got a quarterback that can, throw it 50, 60 yards down the field.
Well, and I've been saying all along, I don't really know football as well as say yourself and Hawkeye. But my guess is you're going to see a white jersey right around the 25-yard line of the Pioneers.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting behind whoever's playing free safety. No. It'll probably be Shane Jenkins, to be completely honest with you. The quarterback who has been playing safety and has 2 interceptions of George Brown in this game. Quarterback on quarterback violence. So Jenkins in the shotgun. Now he'll back up to about the 45-yard line. Takes the call, the snap, little pooch punt. This is going to fall inside the 30. Takes a Pioneer roll inside the 10. Goes out of bounds at the 10-yard line. So the Ramblers, with 1:04 remaining, have to go 90 yards if they want that 6th win.
Well, let's use the whole field. Last game of the regular season here.
Calling a hook and ladder right now.
Yeah.
Calling it.
Ran it last week.
Yep, I'm calling it. So we believe no timeouts remaining for the Ramblers. They'll come out in that 4-receiver spread look. George Brown III with Owen Bonico in the backfield for the extra protection. Will sling it hard, looking for Ethan Barton, and threw it behind him, incomplete. And it'll be 2nd down. Bullet from George Brown III. Trying to hit Barton in the hopes that he's got a little bit of blocking with the other receiver on that side. A lot of attention, I'm sure, being given to Gavin Seelan, who is your receiver in the slot, as the Ramblers go right to left on the far side. Brown will sling it outside, and it is intercepted. And that will wrap it up for the Pioneers as Alex Warner steps in front of the George Brown III pass and waltzes into the end zone, and the Pioneers go up 32-22 with 55 seconds left. And yep, the fans start packing up the blankets.
Yeah, that was George put some zip on that, but you know what? Those defensive backs are sitting there, and they know the ball's going in the air, and he bit on it. Nice interception.
Yep. And so Hoffman will come out for the extra point attempt. And that one will go into the back of the offensive line. Extra point, no good. But with 55 seconds remaining, the Pioneers now with a 10-point lead have put the last nail in the proverbial coffin on this one. And the Ramblers, in all likelihood now, awaiting the Sunday night selection show to see if they indeed will make the playoffs.
I know that everything's based on the points and whatnot, of course, but if there was, judges on this and looking at it, the style points,
yeah.
I mean, it would be a tragedy if McBain did not get into the playoffs. I mean, Clare has been a ranked team this year, and so to see us compete and arguably be in a position where we could have won the game. This has been a nice matchup. I know this is our first time playing Clare, but this has been a pretty solid game, and the Ramblers, they need to be in the playoffs.
A lot of things to take away positive.
A couple of missed opportunities certainly for the Ramblers, but this has been a much improved McBain team over who we saw in the opening week against Kingsley, and even in those first 4 games. Roscommon, they looked solid, but even that wasn't one of their best efforts. And over the last 5 weeks, they have definitely improved dramatically. And if they get the opportunity I think you could see a very dangerous Rambler team. Brown slings it over to Gavin Seelan, and Seelan now with some blocking. Thought about pitching it, and he's going to get dragged down out of bounds with 43 seconds left down at the 25-yard line. George Brown, the third, picking that ball up in the middle of the field and just slinging it out to Gavin Seelan. Boy, Gavin Seelan of 18 months ago probably outruns everybody to the end zone.
Yes. You know what? We're not giving up. This we talked about, Coach Mullen. We're
absolutely.
Down 10.
Absolutely. So McBain will get it at the Clare 25-yard line with 43 seconds remaining. They're not coming out to kneel for the end of this game. George Brown in the shotgun. Daniel Rodenbaugh in motion. Brown going for the end zone, looking for Barton, and is that caught? It is! Touchdown, Ramblers! This ain't over yet, people.
We're going to keep fighting.
36 seconds remaining. The Ramblers with a big run back and a toss to the end zone. Ethan Barton with the touchdown catch.
Get that 6'4" frame up there, and
all of a sudden it's a 32-28 lead, and the Ramblers will go for two. Brown out of the shotgun, rolling to his right, looking, throwing it into the end zone, back of the end zone, too high and incomplete.
So 36 seconds left in the ballgame. Clare Pioneers.
We got a player shaking up at the back of the end zone. Schuster from Clare kind of looking at him to see if he's all right. Is that Seelan?
I think it is.
Yeah, Gavin Seelan's slow to get up.
Looks easy.
He is walking through the end zone, so hopefully he's okay. I don't know if he just maybe he's holding that arm kind of dead on that left side. That's not a good look. 36 seconds remaining in this one. It's a 4-point Pioneer lead, and the Ramblers now will go for the onside kick, no doubt. Gavin Seelan is walking off the field, kind of gingerly letting that left arm hang. He's walking under his own power, so I don't think it's a leg injury, but the way he's holding that left arm, it could be a shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, if he's got a stinger, it's one thing, but it looks like a shoulder to me.
Frank Kasparak, the best athletic trainer any team's got in Northern Michigan, will check him out under the pads there. Might have a field reinsertion here. Who knows? So the Ramblers now will go for the onside kick. Difficult to do with the way the rules are now in high school football, but anything can happen.
Hope for a deflection.
Gets a good bounce, and it's on the turf. But I believe the Pioneers came up with it. It did go through the hands of Clare, but unfortunately Ramblers were not there quite yet. And it went through to one of the backup Pioneers behind that front line, and Clare comes up with it and now can take victory formation. But boy, oh boy, did the Ramblers put a scare into them at the end there.
First and 10.
Clare is going to take this. They're going to chalk this up as a good victory for them. I mean, they probably didn't know a lot what to expect from McBain either, but this is a well fought game. I just really feel like, well, of course, I'm very prejudiced on this, but
you're allowed to be biased.
McBain
it's okay.
needs to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're starting to hit our stride. This game tonight, this is a good test. I mean, Clare is no cupcake. That's for sure.
The knee and the clock will run down to zeros as the two teams line up to shake hands. 32-28 is your final. The Clare Pioneers victorious here in McBain. What a battle. We'll take a break, collect our stats and thoughts. The Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show is coming your way right after this.
We've all been there. We rely on our vehicles more than ever to get us where we need to go, safe and sound. McBain Auto Service is open Monday through Friday and are fully licensed and insured to serve you. With over 50 years combined experience, they specialize in everything from brakes to engine repair with no job too big or small. Stop in for a safety inspection. McBain Auto Service, located at 9438 South Maury Road in McBain, or call 231-825-2729.
In this moment, who has your back? Do you know the name of your insurance agent? Does your agent know your name? Or would you call a 1-800 number that connects you with who? Another state? Another country? Get a local independent insurance agent with Auto Owners Insurance. Someone you can call when bad stuff happens. In this moment, get an agent who will protect you in that moment. Shepherd's Agency, founded by Joseph Shepherd and today celebrating nearly 100 years of serving all your hometown insurance needs. The Shepherd's Agency in downtown McBain. Call 231-825-2411.
Your one-stop farm supply store is Falmouth Co-op in the heart of agriculture country. With locations at Falmouth and McBain, Falmouth Co-op has what you need to keep all your animals well-fed and healthy. Plus, bulk fuel and professional agronomy services like custom fertilizers and spraying and soil and grid sampling. Falmouth Co-op is your premier grain dealer and birdseed headquarters. And the McBain location has pizza, burgers, wings, and appetizers. Stop in today at either location in Falmouth and McBain. Falmouth Co-op is proud to support McBain's student athletes.
Providing great service and quality to our customers, LC Materials is here for you and all your concrete and aggregate needs, both residential and commercial projects. We can assist you in estimates, sand and gravel needs, project details, and on-time delivery. LC Materials is also in Cadillac at the Concrete Store. The Concrete Store has building supplies, stone, block, tools, and other accessories to help you finish your project. So when you're ready, call LC Materials. We're ready when you are, online at lcmaterials.net.
32-28, your final here in McBain. Jay Simon alongside Dr. Steve Preisel. Abby Danforth turning the dials for us back in the studio. The Ramblers come up just short in their final contest of the 2019 regular season. Their 4-game winning streak comes to an end, and they finish the season at 5-4. The question now, did they do enough to make the playoffs next week? They did not get the 6th win to guarantee it, but all signs are pointing to the Ramblers having enough playoff points by virtue of their effort this season to sneak into the playoffs. But now they'll have to await the Sunday night selection show from the MHSAA on Fox Sports Detroit to discover their fate. And Steve, couldn't have asked for a better game to sit in for Hawkeye in this one. A back-and-forth affair from the outset. First, it looked like the defenses were going to give us a low-scoring one, and then the offenses woke up and gave us quite the barn burner.
Yeah, I mean, back and forth. I mean, if you're just a neutral fan, this would have been this is a great game just because it gave you a variety of a lot of different things on the offense and defensive side. But I love when you see at the end of games something like this happen. You get down by 10, you got a pick 6. Instead of just putting your head down, the Ramblers come back, score a touchdown in the last minute. And being the leader of this district, to see see kids that just keep fighting. For me, that's the name of the game. Is you win some, you lose some, but our kids are tough and they play hard. And I think the way that game ended really epitomizes this group at this point of the season.
Let's run down the scoring for you in this one. As we mentioned, it was a defensive battle to start the contest, as the two teams had 9 possessions that ended in punt, pick, fumble, turnover on downs, punt, and then interception. Caden McGillis picking off a Shane Jenkins pass, returning it 30 yards to the house on the final play of the first quarter to give the Ramblers a 6-0 lead. And then the Clare Pioneers suddenly figured out what to do on offense. A 15-play drive to start the second quarter, finishing in a 10-yard touchdown catch extra point, gave them a 7-6 lead. Ramblers, though, came right back, answered, got benefit from a 15-yard penalty to the 45-yard line of the Pioneers, and Gavin Seelan with a terrific catch from George Brown III. Daniel Rodenbaugh with the 2-point catch gave the Ramblers a 14-7 lead. Clare would answer on their next possession, a 2-yard touchdown run by Shane Jenkins. Extra point no good, and the Ramblers took a 14-13 lead into the half. Ramblers got the ball to start the second half, put together a solid 12-play drive, got down to the Pioneer 10, but a missed opportunity. Not a penalty, actually, a 21-yard loss as George Brown III got chased back and absorbed the sack. Lost it back at the 31-yard line. Turnover on downs, gave it back to the Pioneers, and they went up 20-14 on a 37-yard touchdown catch. Extra was good, but the Ramblers again answered, got a 14-yard touchdown run from Daniel Rodenbaugh, who also made the 2-point conversion catch, and the Ramblers went up 22-20. McBain then blocked a Pioneer field goal attempt to start the fourth quarter, but they couldn't put a drive together afterward, gave the ball back to the Pioneers with 8 minutes remaining, and Claire took advantage. Got a 13-yard touchdown catch. 2-point conversion failed. They took a 4-point lead. Ramblers then on their first play of the ensuing possession turned it right back over with an interception, and the Pioneers looked to run out the clock. However, they were unable to do so. Ended up punting with about 1:04 remaining. Ramblers got it back at the 10-yard line. Incompletion, and then a pick six. Kind of put what we thought was the final bow on the game with 55 seconds remaining and a 10-point lead. But the Ramblers came out with a little Tennessee Music City Miracle attempt there. George Brown slinging after picking up the short kick in the middle of the field out to Gavin Seelan. He runs it all the way back to the 25-yard line of the Pioneers. And then on the very next play, Ethan Barton with a 25-yard touchdown catch at the back of the end zone with 43 seconds left. Suddenly it's a 4-point game. The onside kick actually went through the Pioneers' hands at the front of the line, but the Ramblers not in position to collect it. Pioneers fall on it, and they end up kneeling to run out the clock. 32-28, your final. Just an absolutely great game to call. Tough game if you're a Rambler fan, I would imagine. Got some stats from a rushing and passing standpoint there for us, Steve.
Yep, looks like we've got 22 yards here for Daniel Rodenbaugh. Gavin Seelan had 25, and George Brown III had 21. Through the air, you've got George Brown, the third, 9 of 22, 166 yards, 2 TDs, and 3 INTs. Let's see here.
Of course, defensively, Caden McGillis had the interception.
The big interception, the pick six, 30 yards at the end of the first quarter. And
I don't know how this stuff works, so we got to keep going down. Defense, there we go.
So we've got on defense, Owen Bonico, 8 tackles, assisted 2. He had 1 fumble recovery. And then the other leaders were Austin Ealing with 7, and then with 5 each, Gavin Seelan, George Brown III, and Caden McGillis.
32-28, your final here in McBain. This is the Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show. Jay Simon alongside Steve Preisel. And it's time for some post-game hardware to hand out, Steve. This is the hardest part of color analysis, as you have to make some of these decisions. I can tell you right now, there's one that's really kind of easy to do because that's exactly what Hawkeye would do, but you don't have to do it the way that Hawkeye would do it. But let's run these down for us. First, let's go to the lineman of the game, brought to you by Huntinga Electric, and talk about the line. Steve, you mentioned it several times during the broadcast. George Brown, I know 9 of 22 is not a terribly high percentage from a throwing standpoint, but he had a lot of time to throw, especially in the second half. Offensive line really did a nice job opening holes and protecting George.
Yeah, I really, I wanted to give it to the whole line, but that's kind of, make a decision.
You can do whatever you want to do.
So, yeah, I know.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You know what?
Hawkeye's done it before.
I just want to give it to Caleb Outman. He's a guy that really anchored the line and does a nice job. And so I wanted to give it to Caleb Outman.
There you go, Caleb Outman. Mount Outman is your Huntinga Electric lineman of the game. Want to make sure we thank all of our broadcast partners one more time real quick here. Shepherd's Insurance Agency, Northern Truck Service, Pluger Mechanical, McLean Transmissions, Advanced Optometry, McBain Hardware, Kelly's Pizza and Grill, Judy K. Gildy Photography, Huntinga Electric, L&J Meat Market, as well as Burkholder Family Funeral Home, McNally's Party Store, McBain Family Pharmacy, McBain Auto Service, Wexford Misaki Career Tech Center, LC Materials, Cirrus Solutions, McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, Don's Auto Clinic and High Point Cadillac, JMC, and Forefront Credit Union. Could not do this without them, and many of them, if not all of them, will be supporting us as we bring you what we hope will be a pre-district playoff football contest here on 107.9 CDY next week. Make sure you find us on Facebook and check out our Facebook page. We'll let you know where the Ramblers will be next week. How about the Judy K. Gildy photography picture perfect play of the game? A lot of choices for this one, all over the place. You got the McGillis interception. You got the Seelan touchdown catch. You got the Brown to Seelan little, I keep wanting to say flea flicker. It's not a flea flicker.
It's almost like
what is that?
It's almost like a lateral.
A lateral. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The forward pass lateral, in essence, that swung over here, gave Seelan the opportunity to run up the 25-yard line, led to their last touchdown, and kept their hopes alive. Just a bunch of different big plays made by the Ramblers, but this is why we put you in the hot seat.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of different options here, but I'm going to go right back to the very first scorer. And that was Caden McGillis, pick 6. I mean, to see the vantage point we had up here and see him break on the ball, as a former defensive back, I really enjoyed it. And to see him...
There's the bias.
Yeah, to see him break on that and run it back, I give it to Caden McGillis.
Caden McGillis, the pick 6 to open the scoring at the end of the first quarter, is your Judy K. Gildy photography picture perfect play of the game. And that leaves us with just one more item to take care of, and that is the most exciting 15 seconds in all of high school broadcasting. I know what Hawkeye would do in this situation, and I would be perfectly fine with you doing it as well, and I'm sure that's probably what you're thinking. But it is time for the Hawkeye Player of the Game presented by L&J Meat Market here on senior night. Steve, what you going to do?
Well, and I might take more than 15 seconds here, but I do want to honor our seniors and the amount of effort and that they've put into their careers, and the career is going to hopefully continue on after the selection show on Sunday. But number 1, Sebastian Matson. Number 3, Gavin Seelan. Number 12, Ethan Barton. Number 16, Joshua Hart Jr. Number 17, Trevor Bode. Number 24, George Brown III. Number 25, Owen Bonico. Number 56, Andrew Vanna. Number 62, Lucas Skolton. Number 66, Kagan Yaklin. Number 68, Caleb Outman. And number 73, Daniel Maloney. Our 11 seniors. You are our players of the game.
Great call. Hawkeye would be so proud of you, without question. There you go. The 11 seniors who have played their last game on their home field, but hopefully not their last game in the green and gold, are your L&J Meat Market Hawkeye players of the game. Well, that is going to do it for us. Dr. Preisel, thank you so much for joining me up here. It's been a pleasure calling this one. It was an exciting one.
Absolutely.
The Ramblers come up short 32-28, but with any luck, their season will not be over with yet. That's going to do it for us. For our producer and engineer, Abby Danforth, for Dr. Steve Preisel, I'm Jay Simon. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. We will very hopefully talk to you next weekend. Make sure you check us out on Facebook. We'll have more information, more details about the Ramblers and their playoff hopes and appearance. And you can check it out and listen to it next weekend only here on your home for Rambler Athletics, 107.9